Hello everyone, my name is Shara Dribatir and Hello everyone, my name is Shara Dribatir and I'm a graduate of Bachelor of Education with specialization in General Education in West Visayas State University, La Paz, Iloilo City. I took the licensure examination for teachers last 2018 and became a licensed professional teacher with the help of StudyLink and Gurong Pinoy. In omnibus amare et servire. That is the motto of our school, Ateneo de Iloilo Santa Maria Catholic School, which means to love and serve in all things. In everything we do, we should give our best and offer it to the Lord. Preparing the licensure examination for teachers is not easy, but loving and enjoying the process and offering your all to the Lord, everything is possible. My experience with SRTC and Gurong Pinoy was really fun and unpredictable. I was looking for a best yet affordable review center that time, and luckily I came across with their Facebook page, and I inquired for their review offerings. But because God wants to add flavor to my first encounter with SRTC and Gurong Pinoy, I was chosen to be the representative of Wibsumain for SRTC Battle of the Brains on their orientation day, together with other aspiring teachers from different colleges and state universities. And with God's grace, we won. As time goes by, my review journey with SRTC is getting tough, yet very promising. There were times that we undergone sleepless nights in reviewing to make sure that there is a follow-up when we are already at home. Every single class is worth to attend to. SRTC and Gurong Pinoy made sure that they are giving the best lecturers and resource materials that we need in reaching our biggest goal, to be a licensed professional teacher. But our review days does not end in just lectures and discussions. SRTC also made sure that we are having fun while reviewing. There were a lot of activities that gave us an opportunity to grow, learn, and have fun together with our new-formed friends in different schools. The strong spirit of collaboration of reviewees have seen in those activities as we help each other in reaching the goal. Sometimes, we were experiencing difficulty in review sessions, but Ma'am Mek and Sir Ram are really willing to help us. They make lessons easier and understandable for us using their different strategies and teaching methods. I can say that SRTC does not only open our mind, but it also touches our heart and teaches us to be of hand to others. Because of the help and effort of SRTC and Gurong Pinoy in helping us reach our goal, I am proud to say that I am already a fully pledged teacher, teaching at Ateneo de Iloilo Santa Maria Catholic School for 2 years, and Ma'am Mek was also a former Atenean teacher. My experiences with SRTC and Gurong Pinoy gave me opportunities to grow and succeed to where I am right now. And once an SLRTian, will always be an SLRTian.
All right, we are live. Good morning po mula dito sa South Carolina, USA. Good evening sa inyong lahat na nandyan ngayon sa Pilipinas. At marahil ay good afternoon to all the rest of our online students who are in other parts of the world. Now, we are live not only on YouTube tonight, but also on Facebook. Okay, so I had to fix my device a while ago. So because I have set it up so that I can see all the comments coming from Facebook and also from YouTube. All right, so again, good evening po sa inyong lahat na nandyan sa Pilipinas. I hope you also stay safe, okay, from this pandemic that we have right now, especially since a lot of you are in areas maybe that are in GCQ, ECQ. Okay, so please stay safe. But of course, most especially, please make sure that you are well prepared for your upcoming LET that's going to be in March. And Study Link Gurung Pinoy is just here to help all of you pass your LET. Okay, so again, we welcome all of you, especially our first-timers. Welcome po sa ating GenEd and ProfEd discussion tonight. And of course, most especially, I'd like to thank our parokyanos always been there supporting Gurung Pinoy since the time that we have started our channel. Okay, our YouTube channel has just been in existence since February of this year. Sabi ko nga, because of the pandemic and our classes were switched to online class, and so I had a lot of time in my hand, and so I was able to put up this YouTube channel. Now if you're watching us on YouTube, make sure that you like this video. Again, please start by liking this video. Okay, again, our YouTube viewers, please like this video. I can see a lot of your comments. Ma'am Mary Ann Medina, Ma'am Christine, Ma'am Dolores, Sir Jeffrey Arida, Ma'am Antonia Picayo, Ma'am Eva, Sir Efren, Ma'am Nenidal, Ma'am Michelle Kasumpang, first-timer po ba? Welcome po. Ma'am Alfreda, Ma'am Arlene, Ma'am Rachel, and so on. I can also see some of the comments that we have now on Facebook through our Facebook page, Guru Pinoy. Ma'am Juna, Ma'am Shira Joy Batir is watching us. She's our former student, the one that you have just seen in our video a while ago. Sir Efren Esteban, good evening po. Sir Malvin Pimentel, good evening. He's watching from Nagcarlan, Laguna. Shout out sa aking beautiful friend na si Miss Cindy Lou, who's also teaching here in Manning High School. From Bohol, Ma'am Joanne Valentos. All right, so again, good evening. This is another edition of our GenEd and ProfEd discussion. We'll still have 15 items for GenEd and another 15 items for ProfEd. Again, I'd like to invite all of you to please like this video. If you're watching this on YouTube or Facebook, please do like our video, this video of ours. It's going to be our live stream tonight. And of course, make sure that you follow and you like our Facebook page, that's still Gurung Pinoy, and that you are subscribed to our YouTube channel, that's still Gurung Pinoy. Okay? Now, if you are all ready to listen to our discussion and to answer our questions tonight, please send a comment, the number 1 as your comment. Good evening, Sir Kirsten Yanan from Facebook. Again, please comment with the number 1 if you are ready with our discussion. Ma'am Antonia, Ma'am Eva, Ma'am Jara, Ma'am Corazon from YouTube, Ma'am Checky, Ma'am Rona, Ma'am Norhana, Sir George Morla. Okay, a lot of you are ready. All right, so again, we start with our GenEd and ProfEd discussion, 15 items GenEd, 15 items ProfEd. Tonight is a very special night because this is our last night for the month of July. Remember, we've had our schedule for July on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays at 7 p.m. Philippine time. So tonight is really special for all of us because this is the last night that we have a live stream for the month of July. Today is already July 30th. Okay, so just 2 days until the end of July. Now, again, our exclusive materials go straight to Grow. If you are still not members of Grow, if this is your first time to watch us, and you might be wondering, what is Grow? Okay, Grow po is Gurung Pinoy Review Online Work Group. This is our exclusive FB group. It's very easy for you to become a member of this. You only need to pay 250 one-time payment. I repeat, that is just a one-time payment. Okay, so this is until the time that you take the LET po. You don't need to pay 250 every month. You don't need to pay 5,000 pesos as what the other review centers are charging you. You all need to pay just 250 pesos. All the details are there. And you can already become an exclusive member of GROW, which is Gurung Pinoy Review Online Work Group. And this is where we send all our exclusive materials. So again, I repeat, this is just a one-time payment until the time that you take the LET. You only need to pay 250. But then again, the 250 pesos is only until the end of this month. So if you still have not paid, if you are still not a member of GROW, if your friends are still not members of GROW, then please encourage them to become members of GROW. 250 offer is only until tomorrow. Okay, so tomorrow is already July 31st. And after that, in the month of August, our price would already be 500 pesos. Okay, so it's still very affordable, but of course that's twice the original price of 250. Okay, so I encourage you, I'd invite you to become members of GROW, as we still have the 250 price one-time payment until the time that you take the LET. Okay, so that's just 250. Now again, if you still have not liked our Facebook page. The Facebook page is there. That's Gurung Pinoy. This one po is our official Facebook page. There are some other pages with Gurung Pinoy as their name, but make sure that you see our logo on that Facebook page, and that is your hint to know that that is our official page. Now, if you are a member of this group right here, Gurung Pinoy Let Online Group, this is not GROW, okay? This is not where we send our exclusive materials, okay? The exclusive materials are sent to GROW. Okay, so make sure that you become members of GROW. Again, the details were shown you a while ago. All right. Now, since this is the last night that we are going to have our live stream in the month of July, I am giving you the schedule for August. Again, live stream schedule for August will be Saturday, Sunday, 7 p.m. PH time. Now, since we only have 2 days of live stream, I have prepared 20 questions GenEd and 20 questions ProfEd for our live streams in the month of August. Okay, so make sure that you are in front of your screens before 7 p.m. Okay, so again, before 7 p.m., make sure that you are already in front of your screens. Sir Mark Anthony Legaspi, shout out po, former SLRTian, former student, now a licensed teacher, teaching in Thailand. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. Okay, so again, our live stream schedule for August will be Saturday, Sunday, 7 p.m. That's 20 items GenEd, 20 items ProfEd for both of those days. All right, so we start with GenEd. Make sure that you have your pen, your pencil, and your notebook, your review notebook ready with you. We start with question number 1, GenEd. Okay, number 1, this is in the category of social studies, social science. Which principle of taxation does the Philippine government lack if it fails to raise the needed revenue and therefore borrows from other countries to cover its expenses? Is this equity? Letter B, elasticity. Letter C, neutrality. Letter D, productivity. What do you think is the correct answer for question number 1? Okay, I'm just going to read some of the comments coming from our GROW members here. Join na kayo sa GROW, sabi ni Sir Jeffrey Arida. Again, Ma'am Maricris Ablitas, in the month of August, our payment for GROW is already going to be 500. Ma'am Dolores Maniego says, join na po, sulit na sulit. Good evening, Sir Poimnisha. Sir Christopher Mamuya, good evening po. Ma'am Christine says, join na po sa GROW, di kayo manghihinayang. Okay, now I can see some of your answers. Many of those people who are on YouTube are answering with the letter A. Sir Javier Credo, good evening po. Watching, kaway-kaway, sabi ni Sir Javier, sa mga taga Bicol. Tiwi Albay. Okay, now let's take a look at the answers. What about the people on Facebook? You're not answering. Make sure that you try, please try answering with us. Okay, I see the answer of Sir Curson. Again, please try to answer with us because that is one of the most effective ways for you to learn. Watching from Lapu-Lapu City, Lapu-Lapu, Cebu City, Sir Bala Subanen. Oh, busy si Sir Javier. Again, Sir GJ Mortab, he's asking paano makasali sa Grow. The details po are at the beginning of this video. Balikan nyo na lang po later, sir. Ma'am Seska Strens, again, the question Ma'am says is, Ma'am, good evening po. If nakabayad na po ba ng July, magbabayad pa rin po for August 500? No po. The payment again is just one-time payment. So if nakaabot kayo ng July natin and you've paid 250, then that's good until the time that you take the let. If you are going to become a member of Grow in August, then you have to pay 500 pesos, but still that is a one-time payment. Watching from Mahaplag, Leyte, Ma'am Marichu Agustin. Oh, so karamihan sa inyo, your answer is letter A. Karamihan kaya ay tama sa first question or karamihan kaya ay mali? First question pa lang. Ma'am Ray Jane, I see your answer. Sir Malvin, Sir JB Ranoko, I see your answer. Okay, let's take a look at our question here again. The question is, which principle of taxation does the Philippine government lack if it fails to raise the needed revenue and therefore borrows from other countries to cover its expenses? Okay? So, tinatanong dito, ano yung kulang sa ating Philippine government sa taxation niya kung hindi siya nakakakuha ng tamang amount ng tax. And so, kailangan pa niyang mangutang sa ibang bansa. Your choices are equity, elasticity, neutrality, productivity. Now, a lot of you who are on YouTube, your answers are letter A. Let's take a look at our slide here. Now, again, taxation is one of the government powers that we have, one of the 4 government powers that we have. So our governments po, they have these 4 powers. Okay, the first one, of course, is police power. All of these are, of course, going out or coming out in your let. So make sure that you know all of this. If you still do not know any of this, then make sure that you pay close attention to my discussion and that you are taking down notes. So again, these are the 4 government powers that we have. The first one is police power. That means the government can control the activities and also the actuations of the people by using the force of the policemen. Okay, so kaya po meron tayong Philippine National Police. This is to regulate or to take control of the actions of the people. Okay, so that's the first government power, police power. Now, eminent domain, the power of eminent domain naman, this means that the government can get some of your property if it seems or if it needs it for the greater good. Meaning, kunwari, nasa malapit kayo sa kalsada at kailangan ng road widening. Bakit kailangan ng road widening? Dahil malilesen ito, for example, yung traffic, malilesen nito yung aksidente sa daan. So dahil dyan, dahil mas marami ang magkaka-advantage for the road widening, mas uunahin ng ating gobyerno yung mas nakakarami kesa sa iyo na ikaw lang mag-isa yung may-ari ng bahay. Okay, so kukunin niya parte ng iyong land, but of course, you are going to be paid some compensation. Okay, if your land, some part of your land is going to be used by the government through its power of eminent domain nga. Okay, so eminent domain, some of your property can be used by the government if it is for the good of the greater people, greater number of people. Now, of course, the third power that we have here is the power of taxation. Ito nga po yung pinag-uusapan natin dito. So may power yung ating gobyerno na magpataw ng tax, magpataw ng buwis sa kada isang sa kada taong naninirahan sa Pilipinas, especially those who are already working. Now, the last government power that we have here is the power of escheat. Ano naman itong escheat? Sinasabi naman sa escheat, the government can gain control of your property pag ikaw ay namatay na wala kang iniwan na will at wala kang iniwan na tagapagmana. Okay, so pag marami kang ari-arian, for example, maraming ari-arian si Sir Loreto, okay, ang ating class president sa YouTube, dapat meron siyang tagapagmana at meron siya dapat na will. Okay, may last will and testament ka dapat dahil kung walang basis at wala ka ding tagapagmana ay kukunin ng gobyerno ang iyong property. Okay, so that's the power of escheat. That's the fourth government power. Okay, so going back to our question here, we have the principle of taxation. Okay, again, this is one of the government powers that we have. Now, there are certain characteristics of a good good tax system. Okay, nandito po yung characteristics of a good tax system. Take note of all of this dahil lumalabas din po itong lahat sa LET. The first one is productivity. Sabi ng productivity, your government or your tax system should yield enough resources. Kailangan makakuha siya ng ample amount of tax so that it can use it for infrastructure, it can use it for government projects. Kailangan din na elastic siya or progressive siya. Ibig sabihin naman ng elasticity, as national income increases, tax revenue should also increase. Okay? So pag nag-increase ang ating income as a nation, as a country, dapat nag-increase din yung mga nakuha nating tax. Okay? That's elasticity or progressive. The tax is progressive. Tax system is progressive. Now, meron din tayong tinatawag na diversity. Sabi ng diversity mo naman, there should be various forms of tax. Dapat yung gobyerno natin is not only dependent on one type of tax. Hindi dapat EVAT lang, okay? Extended value added tax lang. Hindi po pwedeng dyan lang lahat kukunin yung lahat ng resources ng ating gobyerno. So, kailangan meron tayong income tax, may property tax, okay? Some other types of taxes that we have. All right. Now, you also have equity or fairness. That means your tax should be equally distributed. That should be based on the ability to pay or your income. So, mas malaki yung income mo. Kung may-ari ka ng isang kumpanya, dapat malaki din yung tax mo. Kung ikaw naman ay empleyado lamang, dapat commensurate sa iyong salary ang iyong tax amount. All right. Now, the last one, of course, is flexibility. That means we should be able to increase or decrease the tax. Kung ano po yung nasa sitwasyon natin, kung sa anong sitwasyon meron tayo, dapat marunong mag-adjust yung tax. Hindi tayong tao yung nag-a-adjust sa tax natin. So kunwari, pwede, like dito sa Amerika, no, ngayong pandemic, at maraming tao yung na-lay off, maraming tao nawalan ng trabaho, ay ginawan nila ng staggered na payment yung tax. Okay? So dapat flexible siya. Pwede siyang mag-adjust depende sa sitwasyon na meron ng isang tao. Alright? So these are the good tax system characteristics. So we have equity, elasticity, neutrality, productivity in your choices. And I think it's pretty obvious that your answer should have been letter D. Productivity po yung tamang sagot. Okay? So letter D. Hay nako, sabi ni Sir Loreto. Good evening, Sir Mark. Okay lang po yan. Habol po. Sorry na late. Si Ma'am Maylin Tabora. So, Sir Loreto, President, nag-hi nako, alam nyo na kung bakit. Alright? So, again, number 1, that's letter D. Productivity is the correct answer. Alright? Now, we go to number 2. Second question for GenEd. Okay, this question is very easy. Which is a sexual activity in exchange for remuneration? Is it rape? Letter B, prostitution. Letter C, mail order brides. Letter D, tourism. Now, before I go to the discussion of number 2, I'd like to thank our avid fans who are always there supporting Gurong Pinoy, especially with their financial support. Maraming salamat po, Kapitana Norhana Ismael, sa inyong maagang ayuda. Ma'am Joy Dairie, thank you so much sa iyong pakape. Okay, so halos araw-araw not araw-araw, halos kada live stream may ayuda sila. Maraming salamat po. Sir Nap, sabi ni Sir Nap, merong isang nag-unlike, no? Baka nagkamali sa pagpindot. Okay, so again, going back to question number 2, the question is, which is a sexual activity in exchange for remuneration? Now, I have mentioned that this is a very easy question. Remuneration here means payment. Okay, so which sexual activity here is in exchange for payment, for money, for remuneration? Is it rape, prostitution, mail order brides, or tourism? Okay, so the obvious answer here, of course, very easy. It's letter B, prostitution. Okay, so letter B po, prostitution is the correct answer for question number 2. We go to question number 3. This is in the category of science. Patients suffering from defective kidneys are now assisted by a machine called hemoscope, hemodialyzer, stethoscope, sphygmomanometer. What do you think is the correct answer for question number 3? Sir CCJ, good evening po. Shout out coming from Tigbawan, Iloilo. May Kasimanwa. Thank you for joining us. Ma'am Ayesha Lacerna Trinidad, may kasi Mario. Ma'am Jen Perez, former SLRTian, now a licensed professional teacher. I'm reading some of the comments on Facebook. Thank you, Ma'am Jen. I miss you. Thank you for joining us again. Ma'am Rosie Basig Villanueva, thank you po for sharing the video. Hi, Miss CCJ. Sir Germon, one of the members of GROW. I'm glad that you are able to join us tonight. Okay, now many of the people on Facebook are answering with the letter B, as well as the people on YouTube. Okay, so halos lahat ay letter B ang inyong sagot. Good evening po, Ma'am Mary Ann Cabarles. Habol po. All right, now let's take a look at some of the answers that the choices that we have here first before we go to the correct answer. Ano nga ba itong hemoscope? Okay, so hemoscope po, this is a device that measures the thickness of a blood component. Now, in science, when you see the word hemo or the prefix hemo, this one po means blood. Okay, so that's why you have hemoglobin, the red pigment, the red color of blood. All right, so your hemoscope is a device that measures the thickness of a blood component. Now, I think you're all familiar with our choices C and D. Choice C, stethoscope. So we all know that this is a stethoscope. Ito po yung ginagamit ng ating doktor, and the doctor would tell you to breathe in and breathe out, inhale and exhale, okay? Now, this of course is your sphygmomanometer. Ito naman po yung ginagamit to take our BP. Okay, so pag meron kang high blood, palagi mong ginagamit itong BP, okay? BP apparatus. This is called sphygmomanometer. And of course, the correct answer is your hemodialyzer. So this is your hemodialyzer here. Okay, ito po yung pinaka-hemodialyzer. Of course, kinakabit siya sa iyong dialysis machine at ito ay ginagamit sa mga tao na may problema nga sa kidney, those people who are undergoing dialysis. Okay, so the correct answer for number 3 is letter D. Congratulations to all of you who got the correct answer. Now we go to number 4. Okay, number 4, category social studies. What can be said of the Philippine peso if the exchange rate of $1 to a peso has gone down from 50 pesos to $1 to 40.32 pesos to $1? Is it letter A, the peso is stable? Letter B, the peso has weakened? Letter C, the value of peso is fluctuating? Or letter D, the peso has strengthened? Okay, what do you think is the correct answer for number 4? Sir Mark Toledo says, good eve lang sa Kasimanwa ko, the City of Love, Iloilo. Good evening, Ma'am Edna De Luna on YouTube. Thank you, Sir Nap. Sir Von Jonel, good evening po. He is also a former SLRTian, now a licensed professional teacher, also a product of StudyLink Gurong Pinoy. Thank you so much for joining us. Stay safe, Dira. Ma'am Ivana Roberts, thank you for sharing our video. Watching from Cagayan, Ma'am Rosie, thank you po for sharing our video. Okay, so again, what do you think is the correct answer for question number 4? This is in the category social studies, social science, specifically economics. Good evening from Malapatan, Sarangani. Ma'am Fatima Di Pantar from Facebook. Okay, now a lot of the people on YouTube are answering with the letter C. Some people are answering the letter D. Many people on Facebook are answering the letter D. Let's take a look at the correct answer. Okay, so sabi dito sa ating question, ano yung masasabi nyo sa ating peso if the exchange rate has gone down? Nung una 50 pesos to $1, ngayon ay 40.32 pesos na lang to $1. I have mentioned this to you in our previous live stream. Sinabi ko ito dati in our previous live stream, if I'm not mistaken. We had an item in our live stream last Tuesday, tapos sinabi doon na ano yung batayan sa economics ng Philippines, and then you were given different currencies. Okay, and your answer there was the dollar. At sinabi ko sa inyo na baliktad yung effect ng dollar sa peso. So pag yung exchange rate mo ay tumaas from 50, naging 60 siya, okay, tuwang-tuwa yung mga OFWs natin dahil tumaas yung value ng peso, ng exchange rate ng dollar mo, for example, but that means na humihina ang ating ekonomiya. Okay? So again, I told you when we had our live stream, na baliktad siya, baliktad yung effect niya. So they are not directly proportional, they are indirectly proportional. Okay? So that means pag bumaba itong exchange rate mo, isang dollar dati ay 50 pesos, ngayon 40.32 pesos na lang, that means letter D, the peso has strengthened. Okay? So the peso strengthened po is the correct answer. That is letter D. Okay? So again, I have mentioned this when we had our discussion last time. All right, now we go to number 5, still social studies, very easy. Who are referred to as Japayukis? Are these Filipinos working as entertainers in Japan? Filipino overseas contract workers in Japan as a whole? Filipino-Japanese descendants now working in Japan? Japanese who came to the Philippines for their business and pleasure tours? Ano kaya yung tamang sagot for question number 5? Okay, Sir JB Ranoco, Baluma Ranoco, watching from Davao de Oro. Good evening from Nueva Ecija, from Ma'am J. Tayaw. Good evening, watching from Negros Occidental, San Carlos. Ma'am Evana, malapit lang po yan sa amin. Thank you for sharing our video. Okay, so a lot of the people on Facebook are answering with the letter A. Let's take a look at the answers of the people on YouTube. Okay, many of you are also answering the letter A. Tama kaya karamihan? Or mali na naman kaya karamihan? Watching from Malolos, Bulacan, Sir Romarcos Rivera. Okay, now going back to our question, who are referred to as Japayukis? Nauso po ito ng una, ng mga 90s. Usong-uso ito mga Japayukis, yung mga mayaman sa lapad. And the correct answer here is letter A, Filipinos working as entertainers in Japan. So ito yung mga tinatawag natin Japayukis nung una. Yung mga dancers, yung mga singers sa Japan. Alright, so that's the correct answer. Number 5, letter A. Now we go to number 6. What do we have in common with the beasts? Is it letter A, our freedom, letter B, our intelligence, letter C, our manner of survival, or letter D, our body structures? Watching from Cavite, hello po, Ma'am MJ Sarabia. From Saudi Arabia, Ma'am Daisy Hilbuena. Sabahalkel. I forgot good evening. I still remember Sabahalkel. Good morning. Good evening from Bicol, Ma'am Lecho. From Tabogon, Cebu, Ma'am Lian. Good evening po. All right. Now, what do you think is the correct answer? A lot of you are answering letter C. For letter C, this should be our manner. No? Our manner dapat to, hindi our manner. Watching from Orbis Tondo, Pangasinan. Good evening, Ma'am Edna Ballesteros. Okay, now a lot of you are answering the letter C on YouTube. Good evening, Ma'am Colleen. From Nueva Ecija, Ma'am Annie de Guzman. Let's take a look at our question here. So again, the question is, what do we have in common with the beasts? The beasts po here What we are referring to as the beast here are the animals. The animals. So what do we have in common with the animals? Is it our freedom, our intelligence, our manner of survival, or is it our body structures? Okay, the correct answer here is tama kaya karamihan or mali kaya ang karamihan? The correct answer is letter D, our body structures. We all know this. Okay, kaya pag meron kang, kung ikaw ay studying to become a doctor, for example, nagpi-pre-med ka, nag-nursing ka, kumakatay kayo ng frogs, kumakatay kayo ng pusa, then kakatay kayo ng aso, for example, or ng pig, and then eventually, of course, when you are already in med, pag you are already studying as a medicine student, ay pinag-aaralan mo na yung tao. Okay? Of course, we use animals because we have the same body structures as the animals. Okay? Anatomy and physiology of humans and animals, the beasts, are the same because, of course, humans are also animals. Okay? We are called the highest forms of animals. The correct answer is letter D, our body structures, not the manner of survival. Kumakagat ka ba para makasurvive? Hindi naman, di ba? Okay, so not the matter of survival, but our body structures. Letter D is the correct answer. All right, now we go to number 7. In your school, most students come late. You go to school late too, and you don't see anything wrong with it because everybody is coming to school late anyway. Which is your norm of morality? Is it letter A, shame, letter B, fear, letter C, group thinking, or letter D, authority? Okay, what do you think is the correct answer for number 7? Marami tayong simpleng tanong today, pero marami sa inyo yung hindi nakakuha ng tamang sagot. Sir Christopher Mamuyak is watching from Angono, Rizal. Shout out sa lahat ng mga Shenans. Shena College of Taytay. Ligwak, sabi ni Sir Jeffrey Arida. Iyak. Okay, so sabi ni Ma'am Nurhana Ismael, ang ating chairwoman, the more na mali sagot ko, the more na natututo ako, of course. That's what you call learning by making mistakes, no? And that is a very effective way of learning. Hindi mahirap ang GenEd ngayon. Need talaga intindihin mabuti ang tanong nang di mawalay, sabi ni Ma'am Jacqueline Moralde. From mga Taren, Pangasinan, Sir Efren, but nag-work siya sa Baguio. Marami pa talaga ang kailangan yung pag-aralan. Okay, now a lot of people on YouTube are answering with the letter C. Let's take a look at some of the answers on Facebook. Also letter C, karamihan sa kanila. I learned a lot from Gurong Pinoy. I love and enjoy watching. Thank you so much, Ma'am Rosie. God bless din po. Keep safe din po. From Pampanga, Ma'am Jane Rose Sawan. Alright, now karamihan sa inyo yung sagot is letter C. Group thinking, of course, this is the correct answer. Hindi na kayo mali. Kanina naka-X kayo, ngayon ay nakatama kayo. Alright, so that's the correct answer. This is group thinking. Okay, so karamihan kasi, yan yung ginagawa. So sa tingin mo ay tama. Okay, so okay lang na malate ka rin kasi karamihan naman ay late. Okay, so that's letter C, group thinking. Ito yung effect ng tinatawag nating Filipino time, no? Pag 7 o'clock yung graduation, for example, sasabihin na, ay, mamaya na tayo pumunta doon. Kasi hindi yan magsisimula ng 7 p.m. Magsisimula yan ng 8 p.m., for example, okay? But in the case of our live streams, of course, when we say 7 p.m., we will start at 7 p.m., okay? So do not be late. All right, now we go to number 8. Ecologists associate the relationship between climate and vegetation and animal life with the term letter A, biome, letter B, habitat, letter C, biosphere, letter D, population. This is in the category of science. What do you think is the correct answer for number 8? Okay, question number 8. Ano kaya yung tamang sagot? Okay, sabi ni Ma'am Eva, Cuenca. Relate na relate, especially pag flag ceremony. Okay, so lahat na-relate. On the way na raw, hindi pa pala nakaalis sa kama. Okay, malapit na. Malapit na makatulog ulit. All right, so that's what we call Filipino time. All right, now going back to our question here, ecologists associate the relationship between climate and vegetation and animal life with the term. Now, this is in the category of science, specifically in ecology. Okay, now remember we have scientific terms for vegetation and animal life. Our vegetation is termed flora. Okay, I hope you can still remember this sa inyong ecology, sa inyong natsay. Okay, so meron kang flora. These are the plant life. This is the plant life that you have in a certain place. Animal life naman is called fauna. Okay, so flora and fauna. Okay, so ano nga ba yung term na ginagamit para sa relationship between sa climate and vegetation, the flora, and the fauna, sorry, not fauna. Okay, so the flora and the fauna of a certain place. Is it letter A, biome, letter B, habitat, letter C, biosphere, or letter D, population? Iba-iba ang inyong sagot. May A, B, C. Sa YouTube, iba-iba yung sagot. Dito sa ating Facebook, karamihan is letter C, yung sagot. Letter C, biosphere. All right, the correct answer here is letter A. This is your biome. Now, what are some examples of biome? Yung biome po na sinasabi, examples of this would be your desert, your tropical rainforest, taiga, tundra, your marine ecosystems mo, no, considered biome din. For example, your coral reefs, okay, your mangroves, though these are also considered part of your biome. Okay, so biome po yung term na ginagamit natin for climate and its relationship with the vegetation, animal life of a certain place. Okay, so that's biome. Now, habitat naman, pag sinabi mong habitat, this is the place where a certain organism becomes really healthy. Okay, so a certain organism blooms or grows or thrives. That's what we call your habitat. So for example, pag sinabi mong, what is the habitat of fish? Then your answer would be the ocean. Okay, so water, that's the habitat of fish. What is the habitat of a certain organism? For example, pag lotus, okay, lotus plant. Of course, the habitat would still be on the water. Okay, hindi siya masyadong tumutubo sa lupa. So habitat po, this is the place where you can find a certain organism thriving. So dyan siya tumutubo, dyan siya namumuhay. Now, there is another term which is associated with habitat, and this is the term niche. Okay, pag sinabi mo namang niche, this is the ecological role that an organism plays. So ito yung role ng isang organism sa kanyang ecosystem, sa kanyang biome. So that's the niche, ecological role of an organism. Pag sinabi nating ecological role, is it the producer? Is it a consumer? Predator ba siya sa kanyang biome? Or is it the prey? Is it a parasite? Is it a host? Okay, so niche po is the ecological role. Ang role niya sa kanyang ecosystem or sa kanyang biome. Now, going to our last two terms here, biosphere and population, lumalabas din po ito sa LET, no? Balikan ko lamang. Teka. Okay, so lumalabas din po ito sa LET. Ang ating mga terms na biosphere and population, these are all part of the levels of organization. Okay, so parte po ito ng levels of organization. Now, lumalabas po ito sa LET. Yung LET minsan would ask you to arrange them in the proper order. So dapat alam nyo itong levels of organization natin. The lowest level that we have is the atom. We know the atoms to be the basic building block of matter. So pag sinabi mong matter, it is everything around us, even those things that we cannot see. So even air is an example of matter. So matter, we say, is anything that occupies space. So meron siyang volume and it has mass. Okay, so the atom is the basic unit of matter. Now, if you have a combination of atoms, you'd already call that your molecule. Okay, then of course, your molecules can form your different organelles. Okay, meron po tayong iba-iba ng organelles. Pag sinabi mo organelles, these are the different parts of a cell. We have a separate video on that, so make sure that you check our videos on the cell dahil lumalabas po yan kalimitan sa LET. Okay, so if you have a molecule, they can form your organelles, which are the different parts of your cell. Then, of course, you have the cell, which is the basic unit of life. So our body is made up of several millions of cells, no? So the cell is the basic unit of life. If you have a group of cells, if you have a group of cells having the same structure and function, then you call that a tissue. Okay, so group of cells having the same structure and function, that's a tissue. If you have a group of tissues having the same function and structure, you'd call that an organ. So examples of your organ mo, sa ating plants, for example of an organ is the leaf. Okay, sa atin naman, as tao, examples ng organs natin would be heart, lungs, liver, kidney. Okay, the largest organ that we have is the skin. But the largest internal, pag internal naman, nasa loob ng katawan natin, the largest internal organ would be the liver. Lumalabas din po yan sa LET. Largest internal organ is the liver. Pero kung ang question nyo is largest organ lamang, walang internal, your answer would be the skin. Okay? Now, if you have a combination of organs, you'd call that your organ system. Combination of organs performing the same function, that's the organ system. So examples of this would be your digestive system, circulatory system, nervous system, etc., etc. Now, of course, these systems, these organ systems work together to form the organism. So isang tao, isang hayop, isang halaman, that's an organism. Now, dito po, kailangan maintindihan nyo din yung pagkakaiba ng mga ito dahil lumalabas din ito sa LET. Ano nga ba yung pagkakaiba ng population sa community? Okay? Kunwari tayo, lahat kayong nagre-review. Can you be called a population or can you be called a community? Ano nga ba yung pagkakaiba ng community sa isang populasyon? Pag sinabi mong population, this means a group of organisms belonging to the same species. So the same species lang po ang ating population. So that means itong puno lang. Okay, grupo ng parehong puno, that's a population. But when you say community, this is a group of organisms belonging to different species. Okay, so iba-ibang species na po sila. Hindi nyo masyadong nakikita, pero dito, merong puno, meron ding mga hayop. Okay, so pag pumunta ka sa zoo, for example, that is a community dahil hindi lamang siya puro puno, hindi lamang siya puro leon, for example, hindi lamang siya puro unggoy, pero you already have the different species that you have there. So may puno, may halaman, may bulaklak, may iba-ibang klase ng hayop. So that's a community. So again, community is a group of organisms belonging to different species. Now, when you say ecosystem, ang ecosystem mo naman, this is the relationship of the non-living and the living things in an environment. So, ang ecosystem mo naman, living plus non-living. That's an ecosystem. Then, of course, when you say biosphere, this is all the layers of the earth which support life. Okay, so biosphere would be all the layers of the earth that support life. So, kasama sa iyong biosphere, ang iyong hydrosphere, lahat ng tubig, ang iyong geosphere or lithosphere, lahat ng lupa, and of course, you have your atmosphere. Okay, so all these would be considered part of your biosphere. So, lahat ng living organisms and all the layers of the earth that support life, that would be your biosphere. Okay, so the correct answer again would be letter A, that's biome. Letter A, biome. All right, now we go to number 9. Okay, number 9, this is still in science. Which biogas is obtained from biological waste, such as animal manure? Is it letter A, ester, letter B, alcohol gas, letter C, methane, letter D, gasoline? Okay, ano kaya yung tamang sagot for question number 9? Question number 9 na po tayo. Habang tumatagal, mas nagkakamali. Padamihan ata ngayon ng mali. Sabi ni ma'am, last time ang dami nung naka-perfect. Ngayon ang dami ng mali, no? GenEd pa lang. Malakas ang ulan sa Iloilo. Halong, sir. Shout out for pamantasan ng lungsod ng Marikina, PLM. Sabi ni Ma'am Norhana, paramihan ng mga mali. It means kulang pa knowledge natin, need pa natin magbasa at review. Good evening, Sir Sunny Bukiren. Kararating lang from work. Okay, now many of you are answering with the letter C. Let's take a look at the answers on Facebook. Okay, sa Facebook naman, may C, may D. Okay, now going back to our question here, the question is, which biogas is obtained from biological wastes such as animal manure? Okay, let's take a look at the choices that we have here. These are all chemical terms, no? Terms ito sa chemistry. Now, when you say ester, this is a combination of alcohol and an acid. So it has a fragrant smell, okay? Sweet smelling. So that's why this is usually found in your perfumes. Nakikita ito sa perfumes because this is a combination of alcohol and acid. Nung alcogas mo naman, as the name suggests, this is a combination of alcohol plus gasoline or diesel. Okay, so alcogas mo, alcohol plus gasoline or diesel. Now, methane is the simplest form of hydrocarbon. Pag sinabi nating hydrocarbon, this is a combination of hydrogen and carbon. And methane, we say, is the simplest because it only has one carbon atom and 4 atoms of hydrogen. Okay, so that's your simplest hydrocarbon. Take note of that. Tumalabas din yan sa LET. Okay, so methane is the simplest type of hydrocarbon found in nature. And of course, gasoline, alam natin na this is a type of petroleum that is clear. Okay, so pagkakaiba niya sa diesel, yung diesel po ay marumi, ang gasoline naman ay clear petroleum. Now, what do you think is the correct answer here? Ano nga bang klase ng gas yung nakukuha natin from animal manure mula sa ipot no nung baka, ng baboy? And the correct answer here is letter C, methane. Methane po yung ating alcohol waste or not alcohol waste, biological waste that is taken from animal manure. Okay, so letter C, methane is the correct answer. Good job to all those who got the correct answer. Now we go to number 10. What happens to the speed of a light ray as it passes from water to air? Is it letter A, increases, letter B, decreases, letter C, increases and decreases, letter D, remains the same? This is still in the category of science. Good evening, Sir Bluer Than Blue from Ginobatan, Albay. Okay, ano kaya yung tamang sagot for question number 10? What happens to the speed of a light ray as it passes from water to air? Okay, now some people that are answering on Facebook, they have different answers. So may A, B, may D. Okay, so again, galing siya sa tubig at ngayon ay nasa air na siya. So what happens, do you think, to the speed of a light ray? Okay, so many of you on YouTube are answering with the letter A, may B, may C, meron ding D. Okay, now we go to our discussion. All right, now you know that the 3 major forms or major states of matter that we have would be solid, liquid, gas. As I have mentioned to you in our previous live streams, these are not just the only states of matter that we have. We have 5 states of matter in total. So hindi lamang po solid, liquid, gas. Meron din tayong plasma. So most materials in the outer space is plasma. And the last one would be your Bose-Einstein condensate. pero ito yung pinaka-common. Itong tatlong ito, yung pinaka-common. Now, most importantly, the major difference between them is in the arrangement of particles, the arrangement of molecules, the arrangement of particles. So sa yung solid, I've already mentioned this before, ang solid mo, the molecules are tightly packed. Okay, so they are well organized, they are tightly packed, wala masyadong airspace, and so very limited lamang ang movement nila. The movement in our solids, okay, the movement of solid materials or molecules, the movement is called vibration. So vibration lamang po yan, hindi sila masyadong makawala, okay? So they're just rubbing off each other. Now, ang liquid mo, there's some airspace na between your molecules, so nakakapag-flow na sila. That's why fluid ang yung liquid, no? Nakaka-flow na sila. They can slide past each other. Ang gas mo naman, sobrang laki ng kanyang airspace. Now, we know, I've mentioned this to you before in our live stream, sinabi natin na the only entity that you need to change a solid to a liquid to a gas is heat. Kailangan lang po natin heat, temperature, or energy. So pag dinagdagan mo yung energy ng isang type of matter or isang state of matter, maiiba po ang kanyang state. Okay? Pag kinuha mo naman yung energy, maiiba din yung kanyang state. Now, if you still don't know these facts, make sure that you go back to our videos, GenEd playlist, ProfEd playlist, and of course, our playlist for all of our live streams. GenEd, ProfEd live stream na playlist natin. Okay, so again, that's your solid, liquid, and gas. Now, so again, ang pagkakaiba is the arrangement of molecules or particles. So solid, tightly packed. Liquid, there's some airspace. And of course, gas, it's very spacious. Okay, napakalaki na ng airspace dahil, of course, gas is the one with the most heat, with the most energy, with the most thermal energy. All right, now, we know that light ray, pag meron kang light, for example, at tinatch mo siya sa solid, for example, yung wall mo, okay, may flashlight ka, tapos shine mo siya, no, pinailaw mo siya sa isang wall, which is solid, alam mong hindi magpapass through yung light ray mo. Okay, because of the compact arrangement ka ng ating molecules. Sa liquid mo naman, maaaring some parts of light will be able to pass through it, at some parts naman ay hindi. Okay? So that's in your liquid. And of course, sa yung gas, for example, in open air, ay mas magiging mabilis ang speed of light. Okay? So if you are talking about light, the speed of light, it increases from solid to liquid to gas. So that means yung pinakamahina would be in solid. Ang pinakamabilis naman na speed ng light mo would be in gas. Now, if you are talking about sound naman, pag sound naman yung inyong pinag-uusapan, it's going to be the other way around. Okay? So pag sound naman yung pinag-uusapan nyo, mas mabilis siya in solid. Okay? So mas mahina siya sa gas, sa liquid, mas mabilis naman sa solid. So magkabaliktad po itong light nyo and sound. So that means your answer should be letter A, okay? Because sabi ng letter A mo, from water to air. So that means from liquid to gas. And we're talking about light. So that means nag-increase ang speed of light mo. Okay? If you're talking about the sound, then the answer would be decrease. Okay? But here in our question, it's light ray. So the correct answer would be letter A, increases. Okay? Letter A, increases. All right. Now we go to number 11. Number 11, in each cardiac cycle, the heart goes through a system contraction. What is this phase called? Okay, this is still in science. Is this systole, diastolic arc, or systolic arc? Ano kaya yung tamang sagot? Sir Zandro, balikan niyo na lamang po. Mahina daw signal ni Sir. Nang hula kayo, tsamba na lang. Pa-shout out, Ma'am Paige Biahera, watching from Amsterdam, the Netherlands. Anong oras po dyan ngayon? Okay, I'm reading some comments on YouTube. C, letter C, sabi ni Ma'am Antonia. C, hula ulit. B, hula lang. Maraming nanguhula. Good evening, Ma'am Lou Cabanilla from Cebu. Okay, now some of you are answering on Facebook. Make sure that you answer with us and that you are taking note of your answer. Then you also need to check your own answer. Okay, we're doing this every time that we have our live stream. So I ask you to please write your answer, then check your own answer. And still, our passing percentage is at 60%. That's just 9 out of 15. Inshallah, sabi ni Ma'am Fatima, di pantar, pasado na kayong lahat. Okay, that's coming from Facebook. All right, now we go back to our question here. In each cardiac cycle, the heart goes through a system contraction. What is this phase called? Okay, now, ito po yung ating discussion dito. Pag sinabi mong systole, that's the heart contraction. At pag sinabi mo namang diastole, that's the heart relaxation. These terms refer to the contraction and relaxation of the ventricles of the heart. Now, pag sa inyong blood pressure, kunwari high blood ka, yung blood pressure mo ay 140, gawin natin 150. Okay, so high blood ka kunwari, your blood pressure is 150 over 100. Okay, so yan po yung BP mo. Yung nauunang number dito, sabi dito, blood pressure readings are recorded as systolic pressure over diastolic pressure. So this one is your systole and the lower number is your diastole. Okay, so yung systole po is the contraction, diastole is your relaxation. Yung arc po, these are all just parts na ng tubo, hindi nadaanan ng iyong dugo. Okay, so the correct answer would be letter A. Letter A po. Systole is the correct answer. Again, systole is the correct answer. That would be heart contraction and diastole is heart relaxation. So if you have your BP 150, 100, 150 over 100, your 150 is the systole and 100 would be your diastole. So again, the device that we use to measure your BP would be, we've discussed this a while ago, that would be your sphygmomanometer. Okay, so letter A is the correct answer. All right, now we go to number 12, still science. When a molecule of ink turns a glass full of water into blue, what process has occurred? Is it letter A, solution, letter B, osmosis, letter C, absorption, letter D, diffusion? Ano kaya yung tamang sagot? Puro hula, ha? Sabi ng mga nandito sa YouTube. Okay, what do you think is the correct answer for question number 12? This is still science. Ayan, hula na naman. Okay, let's take a look at some of the comments on Facebook. Again, if this is your first time to join us, if you're watching us on Facebook, make sure that you follow, you like our Facebook page. That's Gurong Pinoy. Please like this video, love this video, react to this video. If you're watching us on YouTube and this is your first time, make sure that you subscribe to our YouTube channel. If you're also on Facebook or on YouTube, make sure that you check out all the rest of the videos that we have, our GenEd playlist, our ProfEd playlist, our GenEd and ProfEd live stream discussions. We also have our playlist on that. If you can become a member of Grow, then that would be better for all of you because Grow is where we send all the exclusive materials that we have. Grow is Gurong Pinoy Review online work group. It's very cheap until tomorrow, July 31st. Your payment would just be 250 one-time payment until the day that you take the LET. Now, if you become a member of Grow by August, then the payment would no longer be 250. It's already going to be 500. Okay, so again, please invite your classmates. We are Gurong Pinoy, formerly StudyLink Review and Tutorial Center. We've been in this business for more than 10 years. Review for LET, for civil service, for MTOP, for other competitions, and for entrance tests. Again, we are StudyLink Gurong Pinoy. Our review center in Iloilo is now closed because we are already residing here in South Carolina, USA. I'm Coach Mek. I'm a bio major and I'm a former Atenean teacher. I used to teach in Ateneo de Iloilo. I've also taught in Saudi Arabia, in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia for 2 years, 2014 until 2016. Then 2018, I came here to the US to teach in a public high school. Okay, so I'm teaching science in a public high school here in Manning, South Carolina. All right. So again, you can be assured that we are credible. Right? You can believe us. Kain ng dinner, sabi ni Sir Jeffrey Arida. Kahinaan talaga science. Pwede pa po ba bukas? Yes, pwede pa, Ma'am Jerilyn Francisco. Alright, so question number 12 tayo. Sabi ng number 12 nyo, category science, when a molecule of ink turns a glass full of water into blue, what process has occurred? Okay, so this is what happens. You have a beaker full of water, okay, glass full of water. And of course, it's clear water. And then you drop an ink, blue ink. Okay, in this case, nag-drop ka ng blue ink, hindi mo siya shinake, hindi mo siya hinipan. For example, you just left it as is. Okay, and what happens is that eventually you see that the beaker of water turns blue. Okay, so lahat na molecules of water mo became blue. So what process do we experience here? Is it letter A, solution, letter B, osmosis, letter C, absorption, letter D, diffusion? Naunahin ko tong absorption dahil ito yung pinakamadali. Pag sinabi mong absorption, of course, sinisip-sip lamang niya, no? Pagsipsip, that's absorption. Very easy, that's absorption. Pagsipsip ng isang bagay, okay, sa ating liquid. Now, pag sinabi mo ng solution, this is one form of matter. Pag sinabi mong solution, meron siyang dalawang parts, your solute and your solvent. Okay, solute and your solvent. Yung solute po, ito yung tinutunaw. Ang solvent naman, ito yung nang tutunaw. So again, solute, this is the dissolved substance. When you say solvent naman, this is the dissolving reagent, the dissolving substance. So that's why we have the terms water is a universal solvent. Palagi nyo yung naririnig, water is a universal solvent. Dahil karamihan ng mga bagay-bagay, ng mga substances natin ay natutunaw ng tubig. So solute po, ito yung tinutunaw at yung nang tutunaw naman, that's the solvent. Okay? So combination of this would be your solution. So pag ako, nag-prepare ako ng milk, for example, ni Baby Rain, I have the milk powder, which is the solute, and you have water, which is the solvent. And of course, the milk now, the formula milk, you'd call that a solution. Okay, solution na po yan. Pag meron kang kape, okay, yung 3-in-1 mo, that's your solute. Okay, 3-in-1 powder mo, that's a solute. Yung solvent mo would be hot water. And of course, you form your coffee, which is a type of solution. Okay, an example of solution. Okay, so now, what about osmosis? Osmosis and diffusion. Now, itong dalawang pong ito, these are forms through which matter is transferred or matter is transported. Okay, so this is what we call cellular transport. Ito yung dalawang klase ng ways kung paano natin natatransport, namumove, yung substances within the cell. Okay, so you have osmosis and diffusion. Pag sinabi mo pong osmosis, this is a special type of diffusion. Special type po ito ng diffusion. Palagi din po itong lumalabas sa left. This is a special form of diffusion. Ang osmosis mo kasi, water molecules are the ones that are moving. So water molecules mo yung nagmo-move through a semi-permeable membrane. So that means, again, osmosis is the movement of water molecules through a semi-permeable membrane. So for example, ang mga nagiging example natin, for example, itong tubig. Meron kang glass full of water at naglagay ka dyan ng mansanas. Okay? And eventually, the molecules of water would enter your mansanas. They would get inside your apple. Okay? So in the end, your apple becomes bloated. Magsuswell yung apple mo. So movement of water molecules through a semi-permeable membrane, in this case, the mansanas nga, that is called osmosis. So pag nakita nyo sa let yan, a special type of diffusion where water molecules are moving through a semi-permeable membrane, your answer would automatically be osmosis. Pero, in this case po, sa ating example here, sa ating question, this is just diffusion. Okay, diffusion siya. Wala naman siyang semi-permeable membrane na dinaanan. So, diffusion is simply stated, ang pag sinabi mong diffusion, this is the movement of particles, the movement of matter, movement of molecules from a level or an area of high concentration, area kung saan siya marami, to an area of low concentration, kung saan siya mas konti. So in this case here, pag dinrap mo yung ink mo, dito lamang siya sa taas, no? But then eventually, it would start spreading. it would start spreading. That's diffusion, movement of particles or molecules from an area of high concentration to an area of low concentration. That would be diffusion. Now, what are some other types of diffusion that we have? Pag inopen mo yung bagoong, for example, in your room, nasa corner ka ng room, nag-open ka ng bagoong. After a few seconds, lahat na ng parte ng bagoong, ng room would smell like bagoong. That's still diffusion. Pag umutot ka, for example, sa room, okay, nasa right side ka ng room, umutot ka, after a few seconds, kahit yung mga taong nasa gitna, nasa left side ng room, and nasismell na yung utot mo, that's still diffusion. While you are standing at the corner of the street, tapos may dumaan na truck ng basura, okay, nasa truck lang yung basura, pero hanggang sa'yo ay umaabot yung smell ng basura. That's also diffusion. Okay, so this is diffusion for number 12. Alright, Eddie, wow, sabi ni Ma'am Christine Acabo. Mali na naman, dami ng X, ligwak. Okay, so again, number 12, diffusion is the correct answer. Now we go to number 13. Oh, your favorite category. Baka dito correct na kayo. Okay, this is in the category of math. A rectangle is 4 times as long as it is wide. If the length is increased by 4 inches and the width is decreased by 1 inch, the area will be 60 squared inches. What was the dimension of the original rectangle? Okay, ano kaya yung tamang sagot for question number 13? Third to the last question. Again, people on Facebook, I encourage you to please answer. I only see very few people answering. Okay, so answer in your review notebook. Also, please send me your answer so that we can gauge your learning. Okay, so again, make sure that you're answering with us. And don't be afraid to make mistakes. Making mistakes is one of the best ways for you to learn. That's my favorite method of learning, is making mistakes. Okay, so may question nga sa let, kailan ka mas natututo? Is it during a test, before reviewing for a test? The correct answer would be during discussion after the test has been taken. Okay, so dyan ka mas maraming pagkatuto. So tama yung sinabi kanina ni Chairman Norhana na sa YouTube natin, mas maraming mali, mas maraming pagkatuto. Sabi ni Sir Mark, may naalala siya sa diffusion. Shout out kay Ari at Marie na nakikinig din po. Hello po, Ma'am Ari and Marie. Kasama ni Ma'am Jerilyn Francisco. Okay, karamihan sa inyo ay letter A yung sagot. For number 13, sure na? Si Ma'am Christine, letter A. Okay, even the people in Facebook, many of you are answering the letter A. Okay, now going back to the question here, the question states, a rectangle is 4 times as long as it is wide. So that means ang length is 4 times the width. Okay, the length is 4 times the width. Now, going to your options here, hindi mo na actually kailangan itong parte ng question na to. If you are wise enough, you don't really need this part of the question and you don't really need to solve. Okay? Kasi sabi, a rectangle is 4 times as long as it is wide. So that means ang length niya is 4 times its width. So titingnan mo lamang dito, 4 times 4 ba ay 16? Tama. 2 times 4 ba ay 32? Hindi. So that means X na to. 5 times 4 ba ay 12? Hindi. That's 20. So X na to. 3 times 4 ba ay 14? Hindi. So X na to. So that means the correct answer will be letter A na kaagad. Agad-agad. Wala namang ibang choice dito kung saan yung length ay 4 times the width. Okay, but if you'd want to check, sabi kasi dito ng the other parts of your question, if the length is increased by 4, so length is 16, we increase that by 4, that would be equal to 20. And the width is decreased by 1 inch, so that's 4 minus 1, so that gives us 3. The area will be 60. So we know that area is length times width, and when we multiply 20 by 30, that would give us 60. So we know that this is the correct answer. Okay, so letter A po is the correct answer. So again, sabi ni Sir Loreto, wait lang, nagko-compute pa. Again, hindi nyo kailangan i-compute. So titingnan lamang. Okay? So tingnan lamang ninyo. Nag-quadratic equation pa si Ma'am Christine. Okay, so again, tingnan lamang po ninyo kung ano yung question. Sabi ko nga, maging mapagmatsyag, no? Maging matanglawin. Tingnan nyo, dyan lamang sa first sentence, makukuha nyo na yung tamang sagot. Okay, so you really didn't have to compute unless meron ka pang choice na yung length ay 4 times the width then. Okay, so since you have no other choice, automatically dapat is letter A na yung tamang sagot. Okay, so 13 is letter A. Now we go to number 14, still in math. What is the sum of the measures of the interior angles of an icosagon? Okay, this is a common question in the lab, both in the GenEd and also in math majorship. Okay, what is the sum of the measures of the interior angles of an icosagon? Icosagon or icosagon? 2,850, 3,240, 3,140, or 3,100? Ano kaya ang tamang sagot? Good evening to all the people who are watching on Facebook. Good evening to my sister, EJ Saison Salarda, watching us from Facebook. Again, Facebook viewers, I invite all of you to please send us your answers. Okay? Minsan lang kasi tayo mag-live sa Facebook. Karamihan po ng aming live ay nasa YouTube channel namin, which is also Gurong Pinoy. So make sure that you also subscribe to our YouTube channel para po masubaybayan nyo pa yung ating live stream. So again, this is a very special night because this is the last night that we have for our live stream in the month of July. Okay, so again, for the month of August, our live streams would be on Saturday and Sunday, both at 7 p.m. Again, Saturday, Sunday, 7 p.m. But we are going to have 20 items GenEd, 20 items ProfEd. Ngayon po kasi meron pa lamang tayo 15 items GenEd, 15 items ProfEd. Thank you, Ma'am Juna, Sir Malvin, Ma'am Junie, Bagarioch, Ma'am Marimon, Ma'am Win Labo, Gabo Ladica, Ma'am Alin Matos. Thank you for answering and for learning with us. Ma'am Kai Ardnosil, Ma'am Joanne Valentos, Ma'am Marvy Enriquez. Okay, these are some people on Facebook. And of course, yung mga parokyano natin nandito, nasa YouTube. Okay. Sabi ni Sir G.J. Mortab, dugo na ulo ko, pati ilong. Hi kay Jonas Francisco from Saudi. Hello po. Sabahalker, Sadek, Kefalhal. All right, now going back to our question here, some of you are answering with the letter B, B, C. Sa Facebook, we have some B, we have some C. Okay, the question is, what is the sum of the measures of an interior angles of an icosagon or icosagon? Now, we know that your icosagon is a type of polygon. When we say polygon, this is a closed shape, no? Closed shape with with sides. Now, this is a list of your polygons. So a polygon with 3 sides, you'd call that a triangle. 4 side, that would be a square or quadrilateral. 5-side pentagon, 6 hexagon, 7 heptagon, 8 octagon, 9 nonagon, 10 decagon, 11 undecagon, 12 dodecagon, 13 until 20, you all have the terms there, okay? So 20 is icosagon. So again, 20 is icosagon. Make sure that you take note of all of this. If you can take a screenshot, then do so. Okay, again, if you can take a screenshot, then do so. So these are the different polygons that you have. Okay, now kalimitan lumalabas ito sa let yung icosagon, dodecagon, and undecagon. But then, of course, take note of the rest of the things that we have here. Okay, again, just take a screenshot of the things that we have there so we can move on. Okay, so these are the different types of polygons that you have until 20 sides. Okay, now for you to be able to solve this, the question is the sum of the measures of the interior angles of an icosagon. You actually have a formula for this. And the formula is sum of interior angles of a polygon would be number of sides minus 2, quantity, number of sides minus 2, times 180. Okay, so the quantity number of sides minus 2, so that means uunahin niyo muna to. Magsasubtract muna kayo ng 2 sa number of sides ng yung polygon, then you multiply that number with 180 or by 180. Now we know that your icosagon has 20 sides, so that's 20 minus 2, so that gives us 18. And 18 times 180 is 3,240. So that means letter B is the correct answer. 3,240 is the correct answer. Okay, so 3,240 po. Letter B is the correct answer for number 14. Okay, now we go to the last question for GenEd. Okay, still in math. The numerator of a fraction is 3 less than its denominator. If the numerator and the denominator are each increased by 1, the value of the fraction becomes 3/4. What is the original fraction? Yes, Ma'am Vanessa, ganun din po. Okay, so Ma'am Joanne Valentos, balikan niyo na lang po mamaya, Ma'am. She's watching from Facebook. Okay, ano kaya yung tamang sagot for question number 15? Some people on YouTube are answering the letter B, others C, D, C. Okay, C. Ano kaya ang tamang sagot for question number 15? This is the last question for GenEd. Okay. People on Facebook are answering the letter D, my C, my A. Okay, my C. Mahalin sana tayo ng math. Sabi ni Sir Jeffrey Arida. Huwag kayong matakot sa numbers kasi. Okay, mahalin nyo siya para hindi din siya maging bad sa inyo. Okay, now sabi dito ng ating question, the numerator of a fraction is 3 less than its denominator. Ito na naman, yung unang hint nyo would be the first sentence. Sabi ng first sentence nyo, numerator is 3 less than its denominator. So titingnan muna natin lahat ng ating choices dito. 12 minus 3 ba ay 8? Hindi. Okay, that should be 9. So this is wrong na. 13 minus 3 ba ay 8? Dahil sabi ng question mo, the numerator of a fraction is 3 less than its denominator. 13 minus 3 ba ay 6? Hindi. So, mali ito. 12 minus 3 ba ay 7? Hindi. So, mali ito. Which means that this should have been your choice. 8 over 11. 11 minus 3 is 8. Okay? So, that would be the correct answer. Hindi nyo na din kailangan itong part na ito ng ating question. But if you'd want to, then we can solve for it. The numerator and the denominator are each increased by 1. The value of the fraction becomes 3/4. So we are going to increase the numerator and the denominator. If you increase 8, you add 1 to this, it becomes 9. For 11, you add 1, that becomes 12. And you know that 9/12 is equal to 3/4. Okay, just divide both of them by 3. Okay, their GCF is 3, so you divide 9 by 3, that would give you 3. You divide 12 by 3, that would give you 4. Okay, so that means letter D is the correct answer. So again, hindi nyo na kailangan na i-compute. Huwag kasi kayong atat mag-compute. Palagi kayong atat mag-compute. Alright, please send me your scores. 9 out of 15, 6 out of 15, 9, 11, 7. Okay, medyo matumal ang benta natin ngayon sa GenEd. Okay, nahirapan kayo sa GenEd. Maraming questions today in GenEd na madali lang. Okay, marami kasi sa inyo yung medyo nagmadali. Okay, hindi nyo masyadong tinutukan. Okay, hindi nyo masyadong pinag-isipan. Okay, so 9 out of 15, 8, 7, 12, 11, 8, 9. Okay, okay lang po yan. So babawi po tayo sa ProfEd. Okay, so again, you should have gotten a score of 9 out of 15, that's 60%. Okay, 60% of 15 is 9. And if we are going to take your total score later, that should be 18 out of 30. Okay, because we are going to have additional 15 items for profit. All right, let's take a breather. Hinga po muna. We'll be back at 8:25.
Hello everyone, my name is Shara Drebatir and I'm a graduate of Bachelor of Education with specialization in General Education in West Visayas State University, La Paz, Iloilo City. I took the licensure examination for teachers last 2018 and became a licensed professional teacher with the help of StudyLink and Gurong Pinoy. In omnibus amare et servire. That is the motto of our school, Ateneo de Iloilo Santa Maria Catholic School, which means to love and serve in all things. In everything we do, we should give our best and offer it to the Lord. Preparing the licensure examination for teachers is not easy, but loving and enjoying the process and offering your all to the Lord, everything is possible. My experience with SRTC and Gurong Pinoy was really fun and unpredictable. I was looking for a best yet affordable review center that time, and luckily I came across with their Facebook page, and I inquired for their review offerings. But because God wants to add flavor to my first encounter with SRTC and Gurong Pinoy, I was chosen to be the representative of Wibsumain for SRTC Battle of the Brains on their orientation day, together with other aspiring teachers from different colleges and state universities. And with God's grace, we won. As time goes by, my review journey with SRTC is getting tough, yet very promising. There were times that we undergone sleepless nights in reviewing to make sure that there is a follow-up when we are already at home. Every single class is worth to attend to. SRTC and Gurong Pinoy made sure that they are giving the best lecturers and resource materials that we need in reaching our biggest goal, to be a licensed professional teacher. But our review days does not end in just lectures and discussions. SRTC also made sure that we are having fun while reviewing. There were a lot of activities that gave us an opportunity to grow, learn, and have fun together with our new-formed friends in different schools. The strong spirit of collaboration of reviewees have seen in those activities as we help each other in reaching the goal. Sometimes, we were experiencing difficulty in review sessions, but Ma'am Mek and Sir Ram are really willing to help us. They make lessons easier and understandable for us using their different strategies and teaching methods. I can say that SRTC does not only open our mind, but it also touches our heart and teaches us to be of hand to others. Because of the help and effort of SRTC and Gurong Pinoy in helping us reach our goal, I am proud to say that I am already a fully pledged teacher, teaching at Ateneo de Iloilo Santa Maria Catholic School for 2 years, and Ma'am Meg was also a former Atenean teacher. My experiences with SRTC and Gurong Pinoy gave me opportunities to grow and succeed to where I am right now. And once an SLRTian will always be an SLRTian.
All right, and we are back. So again, for those of you who are still not members of GROW, no, ulitin ko lang, GROW po is Gurong Pinoy Review Online Work Group. If you are still not a member of our exclusive FB group where we submit, where we pass, where we post all our exclusive materials, Gurong Pinoy Review Online Work Group or GROW, it's very cheap. Until tomorrow, that would just be 250 one-time payment lamang po. So these are the details that you need. So this is how you can pay for Gurong Pinoy Review Online Work Group or GROW. Okay, so again, that's just 250 through Palawan, Cebuana ML. The name is there. That's my sister-in-law. So again, once you have paid, I am not notified po of your payment since I'm not the one receiving your payment, receiving the notification. So I'd like you to please send me a PM and send a picture of your receipt through our Facebook page, Gurong Pinoy, and then I'll be adding you to GROW. So again, until tomorrow, that's still 250, but then by August, we would already have 500 as our payment. That's still one-time payment until the day that you take the lab. Okay, so that's for GROW po. Now, again, Gurong Pinoy, this is our official Facebook page. So make sure that you are following that page, not another Gurong Pinoy, because there are other pages that use the same name, okay? But make sure that you find our logo, okay? That's Gurong Pinoy, the same logo, the one that we use also in our YouTube channel, in our live streams. Now, again, if you are part of this group, this is not GROW. We don't send exclusive materials here. This is our free review, okay? But we don't really send our exclusive materials through there. GROW po is this one here, okay? So for you to become a member of GROW, all you need to do is to pay 250. That's until tomorrow. Then by August, that would be 500, okay? 500 one-time payment. Now, again, tonight is a very special night because this is the last night that we have our live stream for the month of July. Today is already July 30th. Okay, so tomorrow is the end of July. By August, starting Saturday, we are going to have our live stream at 7 p.m. and Sunday, 7 p.m. So again, for August po, wala tayong Tuesday and Thursday na live stream. We'll only have our live streams on Saturdays and Sundays, but to make up for the lost days, we are going to have, instead of just 15 items GenEd, 15 items ProfEd, we are going to have 20 items GenEd and 20 items for ProfEd. Okay, so Ma'am Limon, sabi ni Ma'am Limon, hindi niya na-take note yung score niya. So again, those people are watching us on Facebook. Make sure that you follow our Facebook page, Gurong Pinoy, and also you subscribe to our YouTube channel. Most of our live streams are on YouTube. Check out the rest of our videos that we have, especially our 3 important playlists for the lab, GenEd playlist, ProfEd playlist, and GenEd ProfEd live stream playlist. Okay, balikan niyo po lahat ng aming discussion. Okay, so again, I'm inviting all of you, those people who are joining us on Facebook. Alam ko hindi kayo sanay, but we are answering together. We're all answering together. So I'd like to remind you to please answer in your own notebook and check your own work. Then make sure that you send us your score later so that we can gauge whether you are learning or not, okay? Whether you are growing or not. Shout out sa aking cousin, Leslie Tapali Saison, who's just joined us, watching us from Tigbawan, Iloilo. Good evening. Okay, now we proceed to our ProfEd. Again, we proceed to our ProfEd. Question number 1, we still are going to have 15 items. Okay, question number 1. Teacher Anna has been lecturing for more than an hour and she notices that the students are not able to absorb additional information. This phenomenon is known as letter A, stagnation, letter B, procrastination, letter C, boredom, letter D, plateau of learning. Ano nga ba yung tamang sagot for question number 1? Okay, let me go back to some of the questions, some of the comments that we have on YouTube. Thank you, Sir Jeffrey Arida. He's saying maganda yung motto ng Ateneo de Iloilo, in omnibus amare et servire, to love and serve the Lord in all things. Sa August, Sir Dario Ferreira, yes po, pwede pa po, but that would already be 500. Join na kayo sa Grow, sobrang sulit, sabi ni Ma'am Christine Acabo. Join na kayo sa Grow, Ma'am Vanessa Samis, sa mga hindi pa nakasali. Yes, this Saturday po, Ma'am Kasukari, from watching from the US, no, start na po tayo sa Saturday, 7 p.m. and Sunday, 7 p.m. Join na kayo sa Grow, mananawa kayo sa mga sasagutan at babasahin. Sabi ni Sir Jeffrey. Okay, now a lot of you are answering with the letter D for the people who are on YouTube. Sir June Lopez, yes po. Kung pwede pong ibang tao yung magbayad, but make sure that you use your Facebook account to send me the receipt para alam ko po kung anong Facebook account yung i-add ko. Okay, now some people are answering the letter A sa Facebook. Okay, we go back to our question. Teacher Anna has been lecturing for more than an hour and she notices that the students are not able to absorb additional information. So ito yung nangyayari sa atin, no? Napakahaba din ng ating lecture. And kung nagre-review kayo, pag walang pandemic, nag-review kayo sa isang review center, it's also going to be all lecture. Dahil nga, we are pressed on time. Wala nang time kasi pag nag-review ka, dapat lecture lang lahat. Now, this phenomenon is known as, pag nakikita mo yung estudyante mo, na hindi na nila na-absorb kung anong tinuturo mo dahil nga masyado na mahaba. Is stagnation. Okay, stagnant na sila, wala nang growth, procrastination, boredom, or plateau of learning. Now, we know procrastination is the mañana habit. Okay, procrastination po is mañana habit, yung mamaya na. Mamaya ako na lang gagawin. Mamaya na lang ako magre-review. Okay, so procrastination po mamaya na. Stagnation, boredom, they are very similar. Okay, stagnant ka, wala ka ng growth, you're bored. But the correct answer here is plateau of learning. Plateau of learning. Alam naman natin yung ibig sabihin ng plateau. Okay, if you have a plateau, you have a mountain with a flat surface, flat area on top. Okay, so that's your plateau of learning. Okay, so letter D po ang tamang sagot. That's the plateau of learning. Now, there are two common questions in the LET with regards to the plateau of learning. The first question po, pag kunwari, katulad nito si Teacher Anna, no, the first common question with regards to plateau of learning. If you have been teaching your students for a long time, lecturing your students for a long time, and you've noticed that they have already reached the plateau of learning, what shall you do as a teacher? Okay, pag ganyan po yung tanong, yung sagot nyo po would be to change your activity. Okay, so change your activity, use a variety of materials or activities. Yan po yung tamang sagot. Pag nakita mo yung students mo na nag-reach na ng plateau of learning. Now, another question is, if you have been reviewing for 3 hours straight, and you notice that you have already reached the plateau of learning, ikaw naman yung nag-reach ng plateau of learning, you are reviewing for 3 hours straight, what shall you do? What you will do po is you take some rest. Okay, so those are two common questions with regards to plateau of learning. Okay, so correct answer, letter D, plateau of learning. Now we go to question number 2. A child who always fights with his classmates, has a very short attention span, and has frequent tantrums is believed to be suffering from letter A, mental retardation, letter B, Down syndrome, letter C, attention deficit, hyperactivity disorder, letter D, learning disability. Okay, that's for question number 2. Ma'am Annalisa Marcos is asking, Ma'am, kailangan hubang sagutan ko lahat ng mga work activities sa GROW and then pass it? Hindi po. Meron na po siyang answer. Okay, Ma'am Junvi is saying some of the answers you can see yes. I will be typing the answers na lamang po pag hindi nyo nakikita through your CP, if you're a CP user. Okay, now a lot of you are answering with the letter C. Okay, so a child is always fighting with his classmates, has a very short attention span, and has frequent tantrums. He is believed to be suffering from. The correct answer is letter C, attention deficit hyperactivity disorder. Ito yung mga klase ng bata na kitikite, hindi mapakali, no? Palaging nakatayo, may gugulong, mangangate, o kaya hindi sila makaupo sa isang upuan, hindi sila makastay sa isang spot lamang, no? They are hyperactive and their attention is very short, okay? Very short attention span. That's why we call it attention deficit. Your acronym for this would be your ADHD. ADHD po. Yung Down syndrome naman, these are people who are suffering from the syndrome called mongoloid, yung tinatawag natin mga mongoloid. Ito naman yung mga taong may Down syndrome. Your medical term for this would be trisomy 21. Okay, trisomy 21. Lumalabas po yan sa left. Trisomy 21 is the same with Down syndrome, the same with mongoloid. Ibig sabihin po ng trisomy 21, tatlong kopya po yung kanilang chromosome number 21. Instead na dalawa lang, naging tatlo. Okay, but then the correct answer that we have here for number 2 is letter C. All right, now we go to number 3. Which of the following helps develop critical thinking skills among students? Saan dito yung nakakapag-develop ng critical thinking skills sa ating mga estudyante? Is it letter A, asking convergent questions? Letter B, a teacher's willingness to suspend judgment? Letter C, blind obedience to authority? Letter D, asking low-level questions? Okay, ano kaya yung tamang sagot for question number 3? Ma'am Cherry May Mahilong, wala po tayong bank payment. You can just ask a person to pay it for you. Another option po is to pay through Super Chat, Super Sticker dito po sa YouTube. So po pwede din po na while we are having our live stream, kunwari right now, po pwede po kayo magbayad. Nakikita nyo po yung dollar sign na nandyan sa inyong chat box. Po pwede nyo po yung i-press. At meron po kayong makikitang options, whether super sticker or super chat. At saka po pwede na po kayong mag-choose ng amount. Okay, so you can also pay through our super chat, super sticker. That's 250 until tomorrow. Okay, now a lot of people on Facebook are answering with the letter A. Yes, po pwede po Ma'am Lala Jara, yung kapatid niyo po yung magbayad and then kayo po yung mag-send sa akin ng receipt through our Facebook page. Sa page po, mag-PM po kayo. Okay. Now, karamihan kasi sa ating mga Facebook viewers dito sa live stream natin ay mga first-timer, no? Okay, so I will be discussing the answer that we have. Okay, now most of the people on YouTube are answering with the letter B. So again, which of the following helps develop critical thinking skills among students? Asking convergent questions, teachers' willingness to suspend judgment, blind obedience to authority, asking low-level questions. So we know that low-level questions, ito yung mga knowledge level lamang, but we are trying to hit critical thinking. So we know that this cannot be the correct answer. Blind obedience to authority. So sumusunod lamang yung estudyante mo. We know that this cannot be the correct answer. Now, many of you on Facebook, even on YouTube, are answering with letter A, asking convergent. Convergent question po ito. Pag sinabi mong convergent question, remember you have two types of questions. Convergent would be those questions that only have one answer. Isa lamang yung tamang sagot. Okay? So, fixed yung answer niya. For example, what is the largest planet? Jupiter. What do you call the process through which plants make their own food? Photosynthesis. Okay? What is called the City of Love, Iloilo. So isa lamang po yung tamang sagot. Walang critical thinking skills na nade-develop. Unless kung divergent siya. Kung divergent kasi yung question mo, open-ended siya. So based sa opinion ng bata, based sa idea ng bata, based sa creativity ng bata. Okay? So we cannot choose letter A as the correct answer because convergent question po yan, hindi po divergent. So the correct answer would be letter B, a teacher's willingness to suspend judgment. Okay? Teacher's willingness to suspend judgment, that's the correct answer. Now we go to number 4. Students who are disobedient and display negative attitude towards others are best handled by a teacher who will take every opportunity to praise him for every positive attitude he displays, detain him after office hours for him to do what he is ordered to. Letter C, avoid giving him orders, or if you do and he objects, take back the order. Letter D, insist on compliance to the same degree required of other students. Okay, I think we had a similar question before. Okay, so I'm pretty sure those of you who are our parokyano, nasa online class natin sa YouTube, yung palagi na dyan in our live streams, alam nyo na yung tamang sagot for this one. Okay, ano kaya yung tamang sagot for question number 4, ProfEd? Hashtag parokyano, sabi ni Ma'am Christine Acabo. Yes. Yung mga palaging nandyan sa ating live stream since we started. Thank you so much. Sir Arman Apig, thank you for joining. Welcome po. Okay, now again, going back to our question, you have a disobedient student, okay, displays negative attitude towards others. How can you best handle them? Now remember, I told you, sa LET po, dapat i-ideal kayo. Napakabait ng teacher natin, ng ating guro sa LET. Yung guro sa LET ay isang santo, okay? But of course, sometimes these things, your choices, sometimes, katawa-tawa siya in reality, no? Hindi naman siya nangyayari in reality, pero dahil nga nagtitake kayo ng LET, dapat busilak ang puso ni teacher. Okay? So you'd always choose the most ideal answer. Okay, now the correct answer for number 4, students who are disobedient and display negative attitude towards others are best handled by a teacher who will. Correct answer, of course, will be letter A. Take every opportunity to praise him for every positive attitude he displays. Kahit nakakagigil na, no? Sa tunay na buhay, nakakagigil itong estudyanteng ito, no? So, maaaring detain mo siya after school detention o insist mo, no, kailangan gawin mo to, no? Pero sa letter A po ang ating tamang sagot. All right, now we go to number 5. All of the following shows respect for individual differences, except letter A, giving enrichment to gifted learners. Letter B, providing for a variety of learning activities. Letter C, preparing modules for slow learners in class. Letter D, treating all learners alike while in the classroom. Ano kaya yung tamang sagot for question number 5? Okay, so most of the people on Facebook also got the correct answer for question number 4. Wala pa tayong masyadong interaction sa ating Facebook, no? Minsan lang kasi tayo nagla-live sa ating Facebook. But itong mga parokyano natin sa YouTube kasi medyo sobrang close na sila. Kaya naglolokohan na sila. Okay, so si Sir Jeffrey Arida on YouTube, hinahanap si Sir Felix at si Ma'am Rafaela. Nag-date daw, sabi ni Ma'am Christine. Okay, so tama yan. Sabi ni Ma'am Jeline kasi, teachers are role models. Kaya dapat kahit gigil na gigil ka na, no? Magtitimpi ka talaga. Alright, now many people on YouTube are answering the letter D. Okay, on Facebook naman, iba-iba yung sagot nyo. May A, may C, may D. Okay, now going back to your question, all of the following shows respect for individual differences except, okay? So again, when you're talking about individual differences, iba dapat yung treatment mo sa kada estudyante. Depende sa behavior ng student, depende sa characteristics ng estudyante mo. Now, I have already mentioned this before. If you have a gifted learner, if you have a fast learner, you'd always have to give him enrichment. Enrichment po tinatawag pag mabilis kasi siya makatapos, no? So ahead of time siya, hindi pa nakakakalahati yung iba, siya tapos na. So you'd give him more activities and activities that would deeper his knowledge. Okay? We'd call that enrichment. Sa mga slow learners mo naman, you'd call that remedial. Okay? So remedial po yung tawag naman sa slow learners natin. So again, you should know the characteristics of your students para parang doktor ka kasi. Alam mo kung ano yung kahinaan ng iyong estudyante, alam mo kung anong sakit ng estudyante mo para mabibigyan mo siya ng tamang gamot. Okay? So that's also the same as with our teachers, no? So may individual differences sila. So for gifted learners, you give enrichment, that's correct. You provide for a variety of learning activities, that's correct. Again, we're looking for exception here, exception. Letter C, for your slow learners, you might prepare modules. Pwedeng remedial mo itong modules. And so the correct answer would be letter D, treating all learners alike while in the classroom. So again, hindi mo nga sila pwedeng i-treat alike because they are individually different. May kanya-kanyang ability sila, may kanya-kanyang learning style, may kanya-kanyang study habits. Okay? So dapat iba-iba yung treatment mo sa iyong estudyante. Pag gifted siya, bibigyan mo siya ng enrichment. Kapag slow learner siya, bibigyan mo siya ng remedial. Okay? So no two individuals are exactly the same. Kahit na twins pa yan, they are still individually different. So the correct answer would be letter D. All right, now we go to number 6. Providing a variety of learning activities to students is a characteristic of a teacher who understands the principle of. Okay, this is like a bonus question to you. If you are providing different activities, okay, this is a characteristic of someone who understands the principle of. Is it letter A, proactive teaching as a modern technique of teaching? Letter B, reward as a potential means of increasing participation? Letter C, facilitating learning with emphasis on individual differences? Letter D, allowing the students to be exposed to various teaching techniques? What do you think is the correct answer for number 6? Oh, Sir Mark, naghahanap ng single sa YouTube. Okay, may single ba dito? Naghahanap yata si Sir Mark ng inspiration. Again, Ma'am Danica, yes, you may ask someone to send the payment. Pagkatapos po, gamitin mo po yung iyong Facebook account and send me the receipt through our Facebook page. So alam ko po na yung whatever account, Facebook account na nag-send sa akin ng receipt, yan po yung i-add ko. Okay, so hindi nakita ni Ma'am Christefany ang word na except kanina. Okay, so again, as I've mentioned, this is like a bonus question to you dahil kaka-discuss lang natin, no, a while ago ng individual differences, and that would be the correct answer. Okay, so that would be the correct answer. Kasi sabi, variety of learning activities, yung pinaka-reason po kasi bakit pa iba-iba yung learning activities natin dahil iba-iba nga yung style of learning ng ating estudyante, iba-iba yung capacity nila. So the correct answer, of course, would still be individual differences. Okay, individual differences. Letter C is the correct answer. Now we go to number 7. What is the motivation of a person who paints for the sheer enjoyment of creating artwork? Is it letter A, insufficient, letter B, intrinsic, letter C, extrinsic, letter D, extinct? Okay, what do you think is the correct answer for question number 7? Sir Mark, meron daw single, 43 years old. Sir Melandro Soriano, good evening po. Shout out kay Ma'am Irish Angel Vargas and Sir Roniel Anthony Abaro. Okay, so going back to question number 7, a lot of you on YouTube are answering the letter B. Okay, the same thing on Facebook. What is the motivation of a person who paints for the sheer enjoyment of creating artwork? Now, we know that we have two types of motivation. It can be intrinsic, it can be extrinsic. So that means hindi na po ang A, eliminate D. Okay, so yung choice nyo lamang is intrinsic. Now, you remember when you say intrinsic motivation, a person engages in a behavior because it is personally rewarding, not for external reward. Hindi po siya dahil sa prizes, hindi siya dahil sa medal, sa award, pero yung reward po niya is personal. Okay, so that's intrinsic motivation. Gusto lamang niya matuto, gusto lamang niya ng growth, motivated siya to learn, inspired siya to learn. Okay, so that's intrinsic motivation. While extrinsic motivation is driven by external rewards such as money, fame, grades, and praise. Now, going back to the question here, what's the motivation of a person who paints for the sheer enjoyment? Gusto lamang niya mag-enjoy. And so we know that the correct answer would be letter B, that's intrinsic motivation. Okay, so letter B is intrinsic motivation. Okay, now we go to number 8. When a person's moral choices are determined by the direct consequences of his actions, he is most likely in the stage of conventional, concrete, post-conventional, pre-conventional. Ano kaya ang tamang sagot for question number 8? Okay, many of you got the correct answer for number 7. Congratulations. Okay, sabi ni Ma'am Eva, joke lang daw po, sir. Sir Mark, joke lang daw. Sabi ni Sir GJ Mortab, merong single, lalaki nga lang. I'm pretty sure maraming single dito. Maraming fresh grad yata dito or a year ago or 2 years ago lamang na-graduate. Okay, what do you think is the correct answer for number 8? A person's moral choices are determined by the direct consequences of his actions. He is most likely in the stage of, is it letter A, conventional, letter B, concrete, letter C, post-conventional, letter D, pre-conventional. Now, again, of course, we're talking about Kohlberg's moral development theory here, okay? Moral development theory according to Lawrence Kohlberg. All right, now we go to our discussion. Okay, now according to Lawrence Kohlberg's moral development theory, we actually have 3 main levels, okay? So meron tayong 3 main levels, pre-conventional, conventional, and post-conventional. I've already discussed this before. Pag sinabi mong conventional, it follows the social norms. Okay, so you are aware of the rules in your society, that's conventional level. Before that, kung hindi ka pa aware kung bakit may rules, that's pre-conventional level. Now, a level above that would be your post-conventional level. Post-conventional level kasi mas mataas ito kaysa sa awareness mo lang of your social, cultural, and societal rules. Dahil yung post-conventional level mo, pwedeng mag-negate ka na sa rules, pwedeng kontrahin mo na yung rules. Meron ka ng sarili mong desisyon. Ang pwede ding mas mataas na yung prinsipyong pinaniniwalaan mo. Okay, so universal principles of ethics. Alright, so ito po yung dalawang levels or dalawang levels na aware ka na. At of course, the post-conventional level is a level higher than your conventional level. Now, kada level po nito ay may different stages, may dalawang stages. Sa pre-conventional level mo, again, as I've mentioned, you are still not aware kung bakit may rules. Bakit nga ba may rules? Hindi mo naintindihan. Ikaw ay nagpa-follow lamang sa rules because ayaw mo na mapunish ka or gusto mo na magka-reward ka. Okay, so these are the main reasons why you follow the rules. Okay, or you want to take something in return for anything that you're doing. You want reward, you want to avoid punishment. For conventional level naman, remember I said in your conventional level, you already understand why you have certain rules in the society. And you want to follow those rules because you want to have the good boy, good girl image. You want to be a teacher's pet. That's a common question in the LET. Pag teacher's pet ka, nasa anong level of moral development ka according to Lawrence Kohlberg? And your answer would be good boy, good girl level or stage, that's conventional level. And of course, you want to maintain the law and order in your society. Now again, I said your post-conventional level is higher than your conventional level. Dito kasi, pwedeng sa stage 2, pwede mo nang inegate yung mga existing rules. Pwedeng hindi ka mag-rally ka dahil sasabihin mo na hindi yan pwede. Ito yung mga ginagawa ng mga taong nagra-rally, for example, for the anti-terrorist bill, no? So may law or may bill na ipinapasa tapos nagra-rally sila because they're saying na according to their moral development, according to their morality, to their thinking, it is not right. Okay? So that's post-conventional level. Or maaaring mas mataas pa sa societal rules yung iyong pinaniniwalaan, mas naniniwala ka sa mga morality, for example, na based sa teachings ng church and so on. Okay? So that's post-conventional level. All right, now going back to the question, a person's moral choices are determined by the direct consequences of actions. Direct consequences, this means mapapunish ba ako or magkaka-reward ba ako? And so the correct answer here would be letter D, pre-conventional. Pre-conventional is the correct answer. Okay, so letter D po is the correct answer. Now we go to number 9. When a child manifests self-destructive behavior and echolalia, the child might be showing symptoms of anorexia nervosa, autism, dyslexia, ADHD. O, ligwak? Akala ko tama yung sagot nyo doon. Ligwak pala. O, fresh graduate daw, Sir Mark. Fresh graduate si Ma'am Jeline May Catalunya. Naghanap ng love team na ano siya, na nainggit siya sa mga may ka-love team. May asawa't anak, Sir Jeffrey Arida. Sir Efren Esteban, may asawa't anak. Ma'am Mary Ann Cabarles, okay? May asawa't anak na. Okay, now a lot of you are answering with the letter B for this one. Letter B. Many people, the people on Facebook are iba-iba yung answer. Ligwak, sabi ni Ma'am Junive. Junive. Ligwak. Okay, so again, kung marami pa rin kayong likwak, balikan niyo po yung mga playlist natin. May playlist tayo for GenEd alone, may playlist din tayo for ProfEd alone, and of course, meron tayong playlist for our live streams. Okay, so GenEd, ProfEd playlist sa YouTube channel po natin. Okay, so going back to question number 9, a child manifests self-destructive behavior and echolalia. The child might be showing symptoms of, okay, so sinasaktan niya sarili niya, hindi siya takot na tumalon ng pagkataas. Echolalia naman po, inuulit niya yung sinasabi niyo, okay? So, that's the term echolalia. So, ginagaya lang niya kung ano yung sinasabi niyo. The child might be showing symptoms of, correct answer is, letter B, autism. So, autistic po yung batang ito. Ngayon po I heard inaalis na nila yung term na autism. So what they're using now is people on the spectrum. Nasa spectrum lang. Kasi yung autism kasi iba-ibang klase. Okay? So maaaring meron siyang Asperger's. Pag sinabi mong Asperger's naman, meron siyang isang bagay lamang na gusto. Okay? So yung mga tao nga raw na mahilig sa isang kulay lamang, for example, yung bahay mo color pink, yung mga damit mo puro lamang color pink, no? May mga nababalitaan tayong mga ganito, kahit yung pusa niya deny na niya, no? Tiningnan na niya ng pink. Ito hindi normal. So this can be one form of autism. Pwedeng nasa spectrum ka ng autism. Okay, so autism po yung tamang sagot dito. Anorexia nervosa naman, this is an eating and psychological disorder. So ito yung hindi ka kumakain dahil feeling mo sobrang taba mo, which becomes very dangerous because sometimes some people can become very ill, become very sickly, halos mamatay na sila dahil hindi nga sila kumakain. Feeling nila sobrang taba nila. There is another term which is related to anorexia, and that's the term bulimia. Ang bulimia naman, pag bulimic ka naman, masyadong dami yung kain mo, marami kang kain, tapos pagkatapos nun, iluluwa mo lang, ilalabas mo lahat ng kinain mo. Okay, now dyslexia, of course, we know dyslexia to be ano siya, learning disability siya na babaliktad mo yung mga letters. So if you are spelling, if you're reading, then nagbabaliktad yung letters. If you have watched the movie Every Child is Special, Tara Zamin Parno, it's an Indian movie, at yung bata doon si Ishan ay may dyslexia. So he's always saying that the letters are moving, the letters are dancing. Okay, so nagbabalik-baliktad yung mga letters mo. ADHD, of course, we've had several items with regards to ADHD. Meron na tayong mga items kanila na related sa ADHD. So ito yung attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, napaka-hyper nila at kulang sila sa kulang yung attention nila, hindi mahaba yung attention span nila. Okay, so number 9, that's autism. We go to number 10. Which stage considers teachers, peers, and adults outside the home important in shaping attitudes towards oneself? Initiative versus guilt, trust versus mistrust, integrity versus despair, or industry versus inferiority? Ano kaya yung tamang sagot for question number 10? Okay, we go back to some of the comments here. Tama kayo sa question number 9. So Sir Mark, Ma'am Eva is from Zambo City. SPED major, Ma'am Kazukari. Marami yatang SPED major dito. Naging dating site na, no? Sabi ni Sir G.J. Mortab. Okay, so sabi ni Ma'am Rachel, she has experience teaching someone with autism. Matalino. Marami sa kanila matalino. Wala lamang sila masyadong social skills, pero matalino sila. Uulitin, sasabihin mo kung ano, nakakagulat, sumisigaw bigla. Oy, Ma'am Christine, nagtatanong Sir Mark if you are single. Yes, Ma'am Jerilyn Francisco, the other term for autism is people on the spectrum. Spectrum. Pag sinabi kasi nating spectrum, iba-iba, maraming klase. Okay? Maraming klase. Okay, now going back to our question here. Question number 10, which stage considers teachers, peers, and adults outside the home important in shaping attitudes towards oneself? Now, karamihan sa inyo, D yung answer. Meron ding B, merong C. And you have the different choices there. Now, of course, this is according to Erik Erikson's theory of psychosocial development. Now, this is very important, no? Alam nating totoo ito, tama itong theory na psychosocial development ni Erik Erikson. According to Erik Erikson, we go through 8 stages in our development, okay? In our development as a human, we go through 8 different stages. And he said, furthermore, he said, if you want to be successful in the latter stages, you need to be successful in the preceding stages first. So para maging successful si lolo nyo, si lola nyo, dapat naging successful din siya sa previous stages na. Okay? So may 8 stages tayo. Depende sa iba't ibang bahagi, iba-ibang stages ng ating life. Infancy, early childhood, play age, etc. Now, again, we have 8 stages here. And we have the different virtues that we are trying to develop. Meron tayong moral dilemma nga, no? Meron tayong dilemma in our development. So the first stage there, of course, during infancy, that's trust versus mistrust. Okay, so trust versus mistrust. Now, early childhood, 1.5 to 3, that would be autonomy versus shame and doubt. The third stage is initiative versus guilt. Okay, initiative versus guilt to. Then you have school age. This is industry versus inferiority. Now, when you get to your adolescence, this would be identity versus role confusion. Then early adulthood mo, this is intimacy versus isolation. Then middle adulthood, that would be generativity versus stagnation. Then late adulthood, that's integrity versus despair. Okay, that's integrity versus despair. So again, sabi ni Eric Erickson, if you'd want to be successful in the latter stages of development, psychosocial development, dapat naging successful ka din dito. That's why it's very important for us to hone our kids in the early years pa lamang. Okay? So early years pa lamang, dapat inaalagaan itong mga bata, yung mga anak natin, hino-hone natin sila. So napaka-importante din ng mga roles ng ating mga preschool teacher. Okay, mga teacher natin in early childhood, no? So, napakalaking role yung piniplay nyo para sa kung anong mga estudyante meron tayo sa middle school na, high school na, yung mga estudyanteng meron tayo sa college na marahil at until the latter part of life. Okay, now if you are still not familiar with all the stages that I have mentioned, meron po tayong video, this video here with this thumbnail. Balikan nyo po yung video na yan. I have discussed in full all the different stages that we have here. And of course, I've also taught you how to memorize these stages. Okay? So, meron din doon trick on how to easily remember all these stages. So, balikan nyo po yung video natin na yan. Now, going back to the question, which stage considers teachers, peers, and adults outside the home? Ito po yung hint ninyo. Outside the home. So that means dapat wala siya sa mga stage na to. Okay? Wala siya sa mga early stages. Is it this one, infancy, early childhood? Okay, we go back to our choices. Initiative versus guilt, this is just the third stage. Trust versus mistrust, this is the first stage. Integrity versus despair, late na po to. So late adulthood na ito. Papunta na sa kamatayan itong taong ito pag nag-integrity versus despair na siya. This is the last stage na nga, integrity versus despair. And letter D mo naman, industry versus inferiority. This is school age. Okay, so we know that letter D is the correct answer because the child is already very much involved in the school. So meron kang teachers na, peers. Peers, of course, are people of the same age, people of the same stature, okay? Adults outside the home. So the correct answer would be letter D, industry versus inferiority. That's the correct answer. All right, now we go to number 11. How can parents foster initiative and independence in children? Letting them master psychomotor skills while young, letting them enjoy the identity versus role confusion stage, with encouragement from parents when a child plans and carries out a task. Letter D, none of the above. Ano kaya yung tamang sagot for question number 11? Okay, let me go over the comments that we have here. Okay, so Sir Mark has already experienced teaching students with special needs. Sir Edgar Peralta, po pwede pa po bukas. Habol po kayo bukas if you want to join Grow. Bukas po is still 250. Yung details po on how to pay can be found at the beginning of this video. Po pwede nyo po balikan later. Pag August na po siya, 500 na po, sir. Okay. Now, many of your classmates here have already answered the question. Okay, now many of you are answering the letter C for question number 11. Okay, so sabi ng number 11 mo, how can parents foster initiative and independence? Okay, so initiative natin, nakita natin yung kanina, this is already stage 3. Okay, kay Eric Erickson, stage 3 na siya, no? Ayan na yung initiative. Play age na, preschool age, yung bata. Okay, now going back to this, should you let them master psychomotor skills while young? Of course, we know that this is impossible. Hindi niya mamamaster kung bata pa siya, masyadong baby pa siya. Hindi niya mamamaster psychomotor skills. You're running, leaping, jumping, hindi pa. Letting them enjoy the identity versus role confusion stage. Again, yung identity versus role confusion po comes after your initiative, no, two stages after your initiative versus versus guilt pa siya, no, initiative versus independent. So hindi ito yung tamang sagot. So this cannot be the correct answer. This also cannot be the correct answer. With encouragement from parents when a child plans and carries out a task, this po is the correct answer. So we know that letter D cannot be the correct answer. So letter C is correct, with encouragement from parents when a child plans and carries out a task. Okay? So kahit gaano man ka-liit nung task ng bata, i-encourage mo siya. Okay? So for example, now na meron tayong mga anak, for example, maliliit pa yung bata, like si Rain, si baby Rain, my child is just 3 years old. So sometimes I would ask her to do some things like she would lock the door, yung doorknob lang na mababa, yung abot lang niya, pero may isa pa namang lock, no? So sometimes when her dad would go out of the house, I'd tell her, please grab the door, baby, please grab the door, close the door, or sometimes open the door, okay? Simple things lang. Or sometimes magtakip lang nung kanyang milk bottle, okay? So kailangan ma-encourage sila, at syempre, kailangan din mapaintindi sa kanila na it's not important to always win. What's important is that you're learning, and that if you lose, then just try to do better, okay? So kasi nakikita nila minsan, especially at this age, no, 3, 2 years old, 4 years old, gusto nila palagi silang panalo. Okay, so you have to tell them that it's not important to always win. What's important is you're learning. Okay, so inuulit-ulit ko to sa kanya. So sometimes I'd ask her, is it okay to lose? Then she'd say, yes, mom. You just need to try harder next time. So alam na niya. Okay, or sometimes I'd give her some toys, and or she'll ask some food, fries for example, and then I'll say, okay, I will, basta, and then she'll say, good girl. Okay, so these very small facts, very small learning opportunity. Pag may learning opportunity kayo for your child, for your students, especially younger ones, grab nyo po yung learning opportunity. Don't let a day pass na walang nalilearn sa inyo yung inyong mga anak. Okay, so very important for you to teach young kids, dahil syempre kung ano yung na-learn nila, according to Eric Erickson, habang sila ay bata pa, madadala nila ito habang sila ay tumatanda. Okay, so letter C po is the correct answer for number 11. Now we go to number 12. Stuttering is commonly caused by problems of a spiritual origin, side effect of an authoritarian parenting. Letter C, psychological consequence of permissive parenting. Letter D, result of fixation caused by conflicts during toilet training. Okay, ano nga ba yung cause ng stuttering? Wow! Ma'am Joy Dairit, nagdagdag pa siya ng kanyang ayuda. Maraming salamat po. Maraming salamat, Ma'am Joy Dairit. Ating number 1 na sponsor. Hindi ko na nakikita yung dalawang Miguel natin, hindi na bumalik. Na-busy na siguro. Or baka sabi, matagal pa naman yung saka na ako mag-aaral. Si Sir Felix din, hindi pa bumabalik. Okay, so we don't know where they are now. So again, remember I told you it's important for you to take advantage of the time. We don't see the postponement of the let as a disadvantage. We take it as our advantage. That means we have more time, more time to discuss our let items, to discuss the questions, and to learn, most importantly. Okay, so kapitan po kayo, do not give up, and do not let go of the review sessions. Marami po kayo matututunan every night. Okay, I assure you that every night I'll be teaching you a lot of different things, those things that you have not learned maybe in your college life, or maybe you have already forgotten. Okay, so dapat po ma-refresh kayo. Okay, now going back to our question here, sabi ng question mo, stuttering is commonly caused by problems of a spiritual origin, side effect of an authoritarian parenting, psychological consequence of permissive parenting. Letter D, result of fixation caused by conflicts during toilet training. Okay. Aha, iba-iba ang inyong sagot. Let's take a look at your answer kung ano nga ba yung tama. Stuttering, ang pagkautal daw, ano yung common cause nito? Is it problems of a spiritual origin? So minumulto ka, kaya nauutal ka. This is wrong, okay? We're pretty sure this is not the correct answer. Side effect of an authoritarian parenting, alam natin, we've already discussed the different forms of parenting styles, no? So remember, meron tayong dalawang very similar terms doon, authoritarian and authoritative. At sinabi ko, yung authoritarian, ito yung sobrang controlling na parent. Okay, so sabi ko nga, bad si Aryan. Ito yung bad type ng demanding na parent, pero napaka-controlling niya. So, hindi nakakapagsalita yung bata would just obey blindly. Napaka-strong ng parenting style niya pag authoritarian. Yung positive na side would be authoritative. Yung authoritative naman, you have a very high demand from your child, but you are very supportive. Okay? So, you are very supportive. That's authoritative. Authoritarian naman is the negative side of it. Psychological consequence of permissive parenting. Pag permissive parent ka nga, pinapabayaan mo lang yung bata. Okay? Nahayaan mo lang siya. Pwede ka niyang sagutin, hinahayaan mo lang siya. Okay? So, permissive. Kahit ano, pwedeng sabihin ng bata sa'yo. Letter D naman, result of fixation caused by conflicts during toilet training. Toilet training po, ang result ng mga fixation na to, according to Freud, would be the cleanliness and orderliness ng bata. Pag sobrang orderly nung bata, nasobrahan siya sa kanyang toilet training. Okay? Maaring napaka-stricto ng toilet training niya. Okay? So, napaka-orderly niya, napaka-organized niya, yung mga, for example, pag binuksan mo yung closet niya, naka-arrange yung clothes niya according to the color, okay? So, or pwede naman na negative siya, napakaburara niyang klaseng tao. Okay, so these are some consequences of your toilet training. The correct answer here would be letter B. This is a side effect of an authoritarian parenting. Yung hindi makasagot yung bata, sobrang takot yung bata kasi sobrang controlling yung parent. So as a result, ay walang confidence yung bata mag-speak up. Okay? Wala siyang confidence na magsalita. And so when he or she is asked to speak, he stutters. Okay? So aside from maybe meron ding times na yung cause niya is physical in origin, okay? So maaring may problema sa kanyang anatomy dito. Most of the time, this is also letter B. Side effect siya ng authoritarian parenting. So letter B is the correct answer. Now we go to number 13, third to the last. Many overly concerned parents make the mistake of, okay, this is very similar to question number 12, not attempting to protect their children from all stress, deliberately creating high levels of stress for their child, unintentionally blaming their children for creating stress. Or letter D, unintentionally creating high levels of stress for their children. Ano kaya yung tamang sagot for question number 13? Ligwak na naman, sabi ni Ma'am Junibe. Okay lang po yan, ma'am. Importante po ay natututo. So the next time that you see this question, alam niyo na po yung tamang sagot. Okay, let's take a look at some of your comments on YouTube. New here, Sir Marcos Rivera, first timer, welcome po. How to avail, check the details po at the beginning of this video. Sir Mark, hindi pa rin natigil, Sir Mark. Baka may single dito, nakaedad ko lang. Sir Javier daw ay single. Okay, naghahanap ng motivation si Sir Mark. All right, for number 13, a lot of you are answering with the letter D sa ating YouTube. Ma'am Daylin, Francisco Beboso, the details po are found at the beginning of this video. Balikan niyo na lamang po later. Okay, many are answering with the letter D. So again, many overly concerned parents make the mistake of. Ito yung mga parents natin na gusto ay alam ng bata yung lahat-lahat. Okay? Napakatilino ng bata. After ng bata manggaling sa school, diretso sa tutorial, tapos yung bata ay nagbaballet, nagpa-piano lesson, taekwondo. Okay, overly concerned yung parent. May tutorials, may tutorial sa isang tutorial center. Tapos pag Saturday, Sunday, may tutorial din sa bahay nila. Okay, so many overly concerned parents are like this. And the correct answer here would be letter D. That's correct. Unintentionally creating high levels of stress for their children. Hindi nila intention. Ito yung kasi yung difference ng ating B and D. Ang B kasi, sadya. Gusto mo talaga may high levels of stress ang child mo. Deliberate. Pero yung letter D mo kasi unintentionally, hindi naman talaga nila intention yon. Overly concerned lang sila, gusto lang nila na matuto yung anak nila, gusto nila maging matalino yung anak nila, gusto nila maraming alam yung anak nila, but unintentionally, they're already creating high levels of stress. Yung kahit nasa jeepney ay pinapamemorize yung bata, kina-question yung bata about sa quiz. Minsan kasi kasalanan din ng school. No, minsan kasi may ibang schools na sobrang dami ng quizzes, halos sa araw-araw quiz ng quiz ng quiz. Okay? So what happens is that usually burnt out yung ating mga estudyante, usually yung mga estudyante nating nasa grade school pa lang, ang itsura ay parang magti-take na ng bar exam. Okay? Sobrang haggard na ng mga anak. Okay? So 13 is letter D, unintentionally creating high levels of stress for their children. Okay lang po yan, Sir Reginito Morales Bereso. Huwag po kayong umiyak. Importante po, alam nyo na yung tamang sagot next time. Importante po natututo. Okay, second to the last question. What is the main reason why children with ADHD have limited learning skills? Bakit limitado yung pagkatuto ng mga tao, ng mga batang may ADHD? Is it letter A, they must take stimulants, which shorten their attention span? Letter B, they are given sedatives, which stops them from listening. Letter C, they act on impulse and cannot concentrate for a long time. Letter D, they are mildly retarded. Ano kaya yung tamang sagot for question number 14? Sir Javier Credo, tanggap ka po daw namin, sabi ni Sir Jeffrey Alida. Ma'am Nelma Nances is single. Sabi ni Sir GJ Mortab, ano ba hanap mo, sir? Jowa po, sir and ma'am. Sabi ni Ma'am Jacqueline Moralde, sa Hong Kong, ganyan daw doon sa Hong Kong. Halos walang time yung bata maglaro. Okay, yes. Tama yan, Sir Jeffrey Arida. Wala nang homework pag Friday, DepEd order. Friday lang ba? Hindi lahat ng araw? Dito, hindi din ako masyado nag-homework kasi hindi naman ginagawa eh. Pinapahirapan mo lang sarili mo. Ma'am Dulce Calino, yes, balikan niyo na lamang po later, ma'am. Take care po. Mahina daw yung signal ni ma'am. Now, many of you are answering with the letter C. Okay, even on Facebook, a lot of you are answering letter C. And that is the correct answer. Tama po yan. They act on impulse, napaka-impulsive nitong mga may ADHD, and they cannot concentrate for a long time. Dahil nga sabi natin, attention deficit sila. May deficit sila for attention, kulang yung attention nila, and they are hyperactive. Okay, so that's the correct answer. Letter C po is the correct answer. All right, now we go to the last one. Ma'am Colleen Pancho. Welcome po. The last one, number 15, which among the following drugs is commonly used for children with ADHD? Okay, ano nga bang drug dito? Yung medicine na ginagamit for kids with ADHD. Is it Valium? Letter B, Haldol. Letter C, Ritalin. Letter D, CBD. Okay, this is the last question for tonight. Okay, now again, remember, tonight is the last night for July that we are going to have our live stream. And so the next live streams that we have are going to be in the month of August. For those of you who still want to become a member of Grow, the last day po to pay just the 250 pesos one-time payment until the day that you take the LET for our exclusive FB group. That's going to be tomorrow, the details of which are found at the beginning of this video. If you are going to become a member of Grow by August, that's already going to be 500 pesos. So i-grab niyo po yung chance for tomorrow. You can ask another person to pay it for you. And then just send me the receipt through our Facebook page, that's Gurung Pinoy, so that I can add you to Grow. Okay, so again, by August, starting August, we'll have our live streams on Saturdays and Sundays at 7 p.m. So Saturday, Sunday po, this weekend, we are going to have our live streams. That's at 7 p.m. Okay, so August po, Saturday, Sunday, 7 p.m. would be our live stream. Okay, I'm also going back to school We might do face-to-face, blended. We don't know yet. So I'm also going back to school. And so I'm putting the live streams just on the weekdays. Weeknights na lamang po. Okay, so karamihan sa inyo on YouTube are answering with letter C. Okay. Some people on Facebook are also answering. Again, make sure next time, those of you who are on Facebook, make sure that you also subscribe to our YouTube channel because most of our live streams are on YouTube. And try to answer with us. Okay, because this is a very effective method for you to learn. All right, now let's take a look at your choices here. Which among the following drugs is commonly used for children with ADHD? Valium po is used for hypertension, so high blood, and anxiety. Okay, so ginagamit po yan for high blood and anxiety. Your letter B, Haldol, this is used for schizophrenia. So yung may mental illness, yung mga may dual personality, schizophrenia po. That's Haldol. Ritalin, no, this is cannabidiol. Cannabidiol po is CBD. This is CBD. This is one form of marijuana. So medicinal marijuana po ito from cannabis o cannabidiol. Ang tawag, no, it's an oil from marijuana. This is used for anxiety and also to treat epilepsy. Here in the US, some states, it is legal. And the correct answer, of course, is letter C, Ritalin. Okay, so this is the most common drug that is used for ADHD. Okay, so the correct answer is letter C, Ritalin. All right, please send me your scores out of 30. I hope you have gotten a score above 18, 21 out of 30, 24 out of 30, 23 out of 30, 25, 19, 24. Okay, good job. 20 out of 30, 21 out of 30. Good job. Those of you who are on Facebook, again, please send me your score. Sir Malvin Pimentel, screenshot po ba receipt, then send a messenger? Yes po. Take a picture of the receipt and send it po sa Gurong Pinoy Facebook page, official Facebook page. Send a PM po sa Gurong Pinoy. Okay, so again, we are going to see each other again on Saturday, that's 7 p.m. Medyo mas matagal po tayo, mas mahaba po tayo sa Saturday and Sunday because we are going to have 20 items GenEd, 20 items ProfEd. I've already prepared all the items and all the items are requiring a lot of lecture, a lot of discussion. So we might spend a really long time on Saturday and Sunday. So make sure that you have your load, your data. Okay, make them ready by Saturday and Sunday po. So again, Saturday and Sunday, that will be our schedule for the month of August. Okay, so I'll see you on Saturday. All my online students, thank you so much for being with me. Rain, please wait lang ga. Alright, so we'll see each other on Saturday at 7 p.m. Sa muli, ito po ang inyong gurong Pinoy na nagsasabing, sabay-sabay po tayo, maliit man na butil ng mga kaalaman, ang dulo nito ay malaking kaginawaan. Maraming salamat po for learning with me and for your support to Gurong Pinoy. I'll see you on Saturday. Make sure that you become members of Grow by tomorrow so that you'll only pay 250 pesos. Good night for all the students that we have in the Philippines. Okay, sa iba-iba pang bahagi ng mundo. Keep safe po tayo and we'll see each other again on Saturday, 7 p.m. Bye!